Nathan, you're alive, right?
Yeah, I'm still here. I just was like, I don't want to talk about sexy gnomes, so I don't know what to say.
That's okay.
That's probably fair.
I mean, I guess if we do want to talk about like weird, creepy fantasy art, never mind.
You'd have to turn your camera on if we did that.
Yeah. So there's this art book I got, and yeah, Korean
Are you being serious?
RPG. Yeah, no. I guess I'll just Korean RPGs. A little weird with some of their fiction. Like it's like hypersexualized characters, but then it's like she is 14, but with the mind of a 17-year-old, and you're just like,
so it's okay then.
Yeah, it's like what does that matter? Like there's camel toe right here, so this is weird. You guys,
I like that they just had to add those extra pixels, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the concept art or whatever, so it's a little more detailed than the actual 360 game or whatever. Magna Carta 2, I think, was the game.
Oh, okay.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. I don't think I played it, but yeah.
Like that was one.
I
of those
don't remember it
like,
doing very well at all.
Well, it must not have, because there weren't enough pre-orders to warrant giving away all the bonus items. So I got some. That's how that works at EB Games.
You and that Bayonetta poster, or not poster?
Oh yeah, I have like a
whatever.
I have a tube full of various posters and different poses, and it's just like I don't know.
Because I remember we were gonna do that like thing where we would chat in the corner and put like posters.
Yeah, put up some weird posters,
video content. And then, like, you brought over a bunch of posters. I'm just like, we can't use any of these.
We totally could, though. It's just like...
They wouldn't allow that on Twitch.
Just a creepy corner right here. It's just... That's
we were just at MagFest last weekend, of course, but there were a million fucking, like, really weird underboob type of photos or posters that people were selling. And I'm thinking to myself, there are a lot of fucking kids here for them to be selling underboob posters that were just, real anime style things. I don't think there were anything specific, although they had a little bit of, a little bit too sexy Elizabeth from BioShock, that kind of thing too. Yeah. But it just, there's some weird shit out there, and there could definitely have been a few of those posters at MagFest.
I saw today somebody on Twitter posted a picture. Well, they retweeted someone that posted a picture of like somebody took a picture of their like full body pillow. And it was Zero Suit Samus, and I was just like, "This is the worst." No. And so, like, I clicked on
that's one of your least favorite examples of that sexualization, because she's like such a strong
of her specifically.
Character.
Yeah, but anyways, I clicked on the tweet and like expecting to see a bunch of people saying like you're a pig and you're disgusting and shit like that. But instead, it's just full of people retweeting it, favoriting it, and saying "Go bro" and "awesome" and stuff. It's just like I fucking hate you all.
They might as well have just been replying "fap fap fap."
Or like, where was the tweet where it's just like, "Where'd you get that? Where can I have one of those?"
Yes, guys, that's so lame, guys. What's the link? Can I buy this here?
Yeah, source. Could I get a source on that?
Yeah, they're just like, that's so lame. Please add me so I can DM you. And then in DM is like, where can I get that?
It's like, I was at a convention. It's a custom. It's Anyway, great. Sexy pillows.
Welcome to the Click and Response Podcast.
All right, everybody, what's up? It's your boy Exposure Paul, whatever you want to call me. With me is Nathan.
Hey, Paul.
But more importantly,
I don't know about that.
Mr. Panic Knife himself.
Yes, or Pancake, as I'm called by the kids these days.
Lineofdudes.com
on iTunes.
Let's get that out of the way.
Line of Dudes. Yeah, I'm just going to, because I won't remember to as we keep drinking, I'm not going to remember to pimp it or anything. So, Line of Dudes, the podcast. So, yeah, check us out.
There you go. Thank you for joining us at this late hour of almost 11 o'clock my time, so 1 o'clock in the morning for you, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, we got a timer. I was telling you before in the pre-show that there's going to be a moment, I think around 2:30, when my cats are going to start waking my wife up. She's going to wake up and come over and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That would be great. That would be great if you were just saying something and then like we just hear in the background, "What the fuck?" Then
you won't hear it.
Dead.
No, it'll just go dead, or I'll be talking and all of a sudden I'll stop talking and I'll be like, guys, I gotta go.
Fair enough. Well, thank you
3
for
hour
joining
podcast.
us anyways.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Pixel Response After Hours edition. Just like last week, and I think just as dirty maybe, listening to at least one of the voicemails we got. So that's gonna be interesting. But anyways, we miss Eno. He wasn't able to make it tonight because he has a job. So
a life
there you go.
and things. Yeah, no, he was definitely on postal. He was definitely on Payday 2 for the last 27 hours.
27 hours and running.
He
he's
hasn't actually been
MLG
playing.
status speedrunner for Payday 2. Check it out. Awful Gamer HD on YouTube. You can see the new series there. Videos are actually up. You can see Eno, the master, start his training in Payday 2. He will be 100 times better next time we start playing. But anyways, Nathan, you went to go see a movie. That's why we're doing this.
I just went to go see a movie. I just got back.
Let's go ahead and get this out of the way.
Okay.
Joaquin Phoenix, is he as insane in the movie as he is in real life?
I don't know if he actually is insane in real life. I'm assuming you're referring to that I'm Still Here documentary phase where he was a crazy rap star. That was a character, actually. So
I mean, there's
saying.
something to be said though about if you go into character in real life and then hold the character for over there's a number there. Maybe over 4 months or maybe 3 months. I'm not sure what the number is, but I feel like there's a
method
number.
acting too far.
Yeah. Like when you go method acting, there's a difference between method acting for in the run up to a film, and then there's method acting for like a year.
Yeah.
Which how long did he go with that? You know what I mean? I don't know what the line is, but there is a line there.
It was quite a while. I don't remember.
I think it's lineupdudes.com is a line. So go visit that for all your podcasting needs.
I think the sad part was the whole act was kind of spoiled by Casey Affleck running his
pretty
mouth.
Much.
Which was just like, oh, if I didn't know he wasn't actually crazy, I would have been excited about this movie. But you just shot your own movie in the face. So
yeah, that's so
I
good.
Still haven't seen it.
That's great.
Yeah,
right.
Great job, buddy. But whatever. Yes, this new movie is Her, which is directed by Spike Jonze. Which you guys all seen? You're caught up on your Spike Jonze filmography. You've seen all of them, right?
Not all of them.
All
but
of
I
them?
actually do
No.
appreciate Spike Jonze. I do appreciate him.
Adaptation is one of the greatest Nicolas Cage movies of all time.
Okay. Do you see John Malkovich or?
Yeah, being John Malkovich is great.
And I guess last would be Where the Wild Things Are.
I didn't see that because
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't care honestly.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's more recent, but whatever. That was like 5 years ago. This is another kind of adult picture, I guess. So a lot of cursing, sexy, weird stuff happening. Dude's in love with a computer operating system. That's the whole kind of crux of the movie.
It's really relatable material if you think about it.
It actually was incredibly relevant to a lot of, like, I guess dilemmas we're on the verge of, maybe, was kind of how it felt
we
like.
are on a computer right now.
I know, we're on a computer right now. Like, I was using my smartphone a bunch all day. I was talking to a synthetic voiced thing to set a timer for the stuff I was cooking. It's like, this is a kind of near future sci-fi thing. So like 10, 15 years from now, when that has gone to the next level and
I'm not even sure it's that far off. I think that would we all agree? Let's come to a consensus that this still seems like a weird concept if we were thinking about this in real life right now, right?
Yeah,
this is happening in Asia right now. That's not an exaggeration. That's actually a thing. That like
that is Asia though.
Yeah, but still, that. I mean, those things eventually migrate over here.
What is
have
happening?
You never seen Asian people?
What is true. What are we saying is happening in Asia?
There's a trend going on. I believe it's Japan where they're talking about the birth rates have started to decrease, and so part of the reason is that there are people who are coming into these, I guess, the asexual relationships with AI or getting really into dating sims and things like that, and not dating and developing later in life. And that's actually a thing that's been going on, and it's just because it's like mental stimulation, but it's not the physical side of everything, and that's actually a thing.
Right. I guess, yeah, it does kind of address at least some of those topics. So yeah, it might not be as far off as I'm saying. It might be like 5 years from now or 3 years
Right.
from or something.
That's all I'm saying.
But no, fair enough. But yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of addressing a lot of just things is now modern day that a lot of movies just don't get into. Like, it's just like, yeah, there's this man kind of just talking to himself on the train, but no, he's talking to a synthetic AI, so it's okay. It's not weird. You know, like, it's kind of normalizing these behaviors that are just like kind of commonplace now. Like, we've gone through that phase where you see somebody talking and you're just like, oh, are they speaking to me? And it's like, oh no, it's Bluetooth.
Right.
You know, like that kind of thing.
The worst.
Like, yeah, it's still kind of the worst. But yeah, this movie is kind of getting into all that stuff about like how people are, living in bigger cities than ever, but kind of more alone than ever. And it kind of looks at that through the lens of this kind of, dude who's just broken up with his wife. Like they're about to sign divorce papers and stuff. And he starts just kind of opening up to this computer. And I guess part of that I found weirdly relatable. And like, there were days where I would just kind of ask me a question on Formspring and then just type out an elaborate answer to no one, like just to the internet. Like, it's just like,
you're talking to yourself.
You're a psychopath, dude.
No, I'll
like,
defend him here.
Like,
you're talking to yourself.
That's the thing this movie kind of keeps questioning is like, are you crazy? And it's like, no, it's just, this is just getting more and more commonplace. Like this kind of
Sure.
talking to the internet as though it's your friend is just kind of the thing. And like, in
this,
the internet is kind of personified and given a voice and a name, and it's Samantha and it's Scarlett Johansson, but it is basically just a computer. Like, it's like you're talking to your smartphone or whatever.
You
like,
just said all the keywords I need to go see this movie.
What are the what?
Scarlett and Johansson.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And computer.
Computer.
Very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's very funny, but like it'll kind of alternate to this kind of weirdly just thoughtful tone where it's just kind of like, yeah, that's actually a really odd problem that this movie is presenting me with. And like, it was kind of stirring up a lot of feelings and thoughts about just relationships and how much we use technology and how addicted we are to that kind of thing. And I don't know, I found it very, very good in that way. And like the acting and stuff is like, a lot of it's just Joaquin Phoenix talking to himself effectively. Like there's no one else actually there, but he's kind of, it's like a very kind of intimate movie. Like it's just kind of him talking and opening up about his life and his feelings and all this stuff to a computer. But like, the audience was pretty respectful, like stuff like there was laughing when appropriate, and then kind of like weird cringing when appropriate. There's some like really odd stuff that happens, like stuff that reminded me of like kind of Craigslist hookups style weirdness.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh no, like there's this relationship surrogate person, so the computer can have a representative body, and then like this weird creepy thing happens. Yeah. So I don't know. It seemed very aware of like the modern internet. Also, like one little like detail that just meant just volumes to me. His friend and neighbor, Amy Adams' character, is a game developer.
Oh,
so
okay.
There's just a bit where like she's showing him her new game, and it's like this weird parent simulator, and it was like getting into like Dangerous Cook Serve Delicious style territory, which is like points popping up on screen and like her pouring cereal and all this stuff. And I was just like, this is so weird. Like, this is like actually not bad at guessing what an indie game might look like in like 5-10 years or something. Like, I was like, that was pretty good. That was a good fake game. There's also like this weird AI alien dude. Like he's playing some motion game in his house. Like there's a lot of like video game awareness. Like it knows that is going to be a thing like 30, 40 something year old guy is going to be doing in the future when he's alone in his apartment. He's going to play video games. So they addressed that stuff. And I was like, yeah, you nailed it. Like that is authentic to me. So
sure.
I was pretty caught up in it. Yeah, video games, they're in this movie. It's cool.
Do you recommend I see it in a theater? You know what my feelings are about paying a large amount of money to go to a theater full of people I necessarily don't want to be around and sitting there for 2 hours.
I mean, it is it's a pretty small scale drama. Like it's not really a spectacle. Like the production design and stuff's really nice. So like I thought it was a good film to look at.
So you're saying I could pirate it and I would be
Okay.
totally okay.
Me and my friend Ryan were talking about this, like not necessarily encouraging. I'm just saying it is awards season. There are like screener copies everywhere, and they're
Except for
all-
Catching Fire, because I've been trying to see that movie for, on the cheap. But
Oh, okay.
I don't think they haven't released it for screeners. I think they want people to go see it in theater.
I felt good getting a ticket and going to see it, but I'm, a fan of the director and stuff, and like it was a
Pretty
night
packed
out
theater?
with some friends. Yeah, it was pretty full. It was pretty full. Yeah, actually, yeah. I guess it was opening night tonight, so it seemed like a
Sure.
full house. But
Cool.
yeah, it's kind of at award season stuff right now. It got some Golden Globe nominations and whatever. But I would definitely say it's worth seeing. Like it is a thoughtful, interesting movie. But whether or not that's worth a trip to the movie house for you is kind of subjective. So that means
Is it worth
no.
my
or-
free tickets?
Free tickets, yes.
Okay,
Free
there we
tickets.
go.
The big problem with me is that, like, if I go see a movie, obviously I'm going with another person because I don't like doing
No.
like outdoor things alone, sort of thing. Like I don't like going to a theater alone or to dinner alone or any of that.
You wouldn't
That's
go see
weird.
Melancholia alone, the Lars von Trier film. I did
I wouldn't
not.
go see anything Lars von
Great.
Trier has ever done alone because I would be scared to my very core. But no,
Melancholia is
I wouldn't.
Great movie.
So
dude.
like
It's awesome.
when I look at a movie, I have to think, is this worth maybe $30.50 if we're going to get like food and snacks? So is it worth
Yeah, that's a
$25 to
good
$50?
25, yeah, 50. Like, why are you getting snacks in the movie theater, dude? What are you doing?
Why
It's
are you
just
not?
convenience, really.
Okay, that's
Hey,
your
actually, it's
fault.
true.
Like, I'm
You
not
gotta
going to
smuggle 'em
count
in.
that against Spike Jones. Like, that's just you being crazy. So, do you know markup on that is like 8,000%? That's like
Yep, I do.
12 cents worth of popcorn. That's like
Mhm.
Clearly,
Okay.
I mean,
Where-
if you're not smuggling stuff into the theater, you're doing it wrong. Plus, they never have the stuff you really want either. I mean, come on,
they started having pretzels. I like pretzels, but
pretzels are pretty good. That's strong.
baked pretzel. That's not
Anything with
bad.
salt.
Yeah, salty pretzel. That's like $5 though. So
Yeah,
it's-
easily.
it's a little more than it should be, but I don't know. $25. Yeah, 50. I don't know. Maybe eat beforehand or something. Try to stop
Like
that.
go out for a dinner or something. Okay, so $125. This movie is worth.
$125 a
God,
night, totally worth it. You will guaranteed. You got Nathan guarantee. You'll have an amazing, life changing time. That's not an actual guarantee. It's in the fine print. I don't guarantee anything ever. But
Now, would this
yeah.
work as a date night movie?
yeah, I guess so. If you're
I like the uptick on the voice there.
Well,
because
I'm
it's
trying
like
to think, right?
it's
like-
thoughtful enough that someone else might get something out of it other than like Expendables, where it's just like, oh, it's just a bunch of dudes blowing shit up.
Right. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it might be kind of a conversation sparker. Like, Brittany and I were just having kind of like a weird analytical conversation about it. So it's a bit heavier than your average date comedy, but
Maybe just like know your audience, I guess, right? Like if you're going with somebody and they're just like, oh man, I love Expendables, like maybe this isn't the date movie.
yeah, that's a weird fit.
So
Like,
take
it also
your
doesn't
spouse
quite fit
or
the,
somebody like that.
the Hugh Grant or like Richard Curtis movie, like it's not that either. It's significantly better. It's, it has
Yeah.
something to say. So fuck you, Richard Curtis. You suck. You're a terrible director. Anyway, what? I just don't like that Doctor Who episode I watched, so I'm gonna spill some vitriol. Love Actually, I've never seen it, but I don't want to now because people like it too much. You ruined it.
Oh come
Yeah,
on.
I feel
No.
like people really got into it. Like they really
People like something
oversold
too
it.
much. Nathan hates
Yeah.
it automatically.
That's
'cause, like-
garbage. Last 2
'cause, like-
years, it's just become this Christmas tradition. It's like,
I saw it and like I was like, all right, that wasn't the worst because I'm not really all that into the whole date movie scene thing. In fact, I've gotten really lucky because I married a girl that doesn't really like the date movies either. But
Mhm.
we went and saw that and it was like I left and I thought to myself, that wasn't bad. That was all right. I didn't hate my life the entire 2 hours I was watching the movie. But then watching everybody go absolutely batshit crazy over that movie just makes me sick. So I'm with you, Nathan.
it's like an annual tradition for some people, and I just Like, I like Liam Neeson. He's fine. Like, I'm
Sure.
sure there's good stuff in that movie, but it's just like 2 hours and 20 minutes of schmaltz. That sounds like a stiff drink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's no cream ale.
I'm actually drinking the Eno Special right here that he introduced to me when he was on his worldwide trip in Canada last
Full of vodka
year.
and cola.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, he does not drink that anymore because he went gluten free,
Yeah,
and also not only gluten free but also no carbonated drinks or anything. So he's got all this beer at his place that he's now making me drink whenever we do podcasts because he doesn't drink
Great.
beer.
so what does he drink now?
He drinks like white liquor, so he drinks vodka
Okay,
and like gin and things like that. But
so basically the same, only no soft drink to mix it with then.
yeah, although
Oh.
I mean, he'll be angry if he had to admit the fact that by the end of the night, when and if you want the full story, you can listen to it on our podcast this week. Yeah, the third plug in less than a half hour. But
That's how you do it. That's how you
know,
get
right?
shit done around here.
But yeah, last weekend during MagFest he drank. He was drinking vodka and straight. You can't drink vodka straight. So he started to put like energy drinks into it, and I was like, "Oh man, you're gonna break your diet." He said, "You don't fucking tell anybody that I did this." It was pretty great. But I mean, it seems to be working for him. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah,
It's a
he
good
went
drink, though.
gluten free, and it's kind of weird. Not weird that he went gluten free. It's just
No.
that like when he was here, it's like dude
Oh,
drank
yeah.
a lot and smoked a lot and ate whatever bullshit we put in front of his face, and now he's just like, no, I'm going to the gym and I'm like eating proper stuff. It's just like, what the fuck have you become?
Is
I
it like a
don't know,
New
man.
Year's resolution thing, or
No,
what's going
he-
on?
I think it's I
He
don't
had a-
want to die early sort of thing.
Exactly. And he looks good. I mean, he's been dropping a lot of weight and stuff like that. It's just that, I've been so used to going over to his place and watching men beat each other up every month. And it used to be, oh, we're gonna order 7,000 pizzas, and now it's like, hey, we've got pretzel chips. I'm like, fuck, pretzel chips are good, but it's no terrible pizza or anything.
The chat saying keep plugging, brother, and the other our Foxy's like, now at most 100 people know about it. I'll have you know, we get more than 100 downloads. I'm just saying, just because
Very
you
nice.
see 6 people in the chat regularly, I was surprised to see the numbers myself. So I would say
Really
at least 101 people know.
There you go. Well, it's your 10% rule. Shit.
10% rule. Oh shit, 60.
We're fucked.
What, like they're
it's-
bots or something?
Huh?
Is that what that means?
It's pot. No, probably not. It's. I think that some of it is. I mean, there's certainly some of it is. The spiders that will crawl the web or whatever. I don't know what the fuck that is. I wish I knew more about that, but I think that the web spiders and shit, man. I might be drinking.
Web
there's-
crawler? Like
Web
what?
crawlers, yes.
Okay.
They index the internet and shit, and I think that comes up on your stats. But if you look at your stats, I think
I was looking at the
downloads
stats
would be-
for downloads though,
yeah,
like
I think
listens.
downloads
Yeah.
are pretty much standard. You're not going
They
to get
are.
somebody who's actually downloading it. I don't think a web spider is going to.
No, no, like you're totally right. I think they do call them either crawlers or spiders, and what it is that there's bots that Google and Yahoo and stuff have, and they basically like click on. If it was a person, their job would be to click on every single link that links all pages together and kind of index all of the main words that tag everything together, and that's how you
Right.
get onto Google and shit.
The Google.
Okay.
So, yeah, but what they don't do is they don't wait for 40 minutes in a podcast to download like a gigabyte of it. They just kind of go through quickly.
I just imagine this fucking scary ass big spider from like Gears of War listening to the podcast Pixel Response.
Got these little headphones on.
He's just sitting there like clicking around, listening to the podcast.
Like, oh, this is all right. This is not.
It's pretty good.
I like this podcast.
And it's like
Tom
click
sent it
like
to the internet.
or subscribe on iTunes. And he's like, okay.
I think we should take a moment to say something that's very important. Pixel Response, we at Pixel Response, and probably Line of Dudes do not support spiders in any way and don't believe
No.
they should have any
God,
equal
no.
rights. So I'm sorry if I ruined your job, Google.
Oh my god, spiders
Spiders.
are the worst. Even web spiders, because they fudge your stats. So fuck spiders, man.
They
No
do
spiders.
fudge your stats quite a bit. Like, I don't know. Some stats you can kind of guess like what the stats actually are because you can see what. I don't know who you're hosted with, but my host will split up who the actual like crawlers are, like the
Right.
search engine crawlers.
Right.
And then you can kind of minus that from the total, and then you get a basic idea of what's actually going on. But I think downloads are universally like accepted as, oh yeah, there was like 30 gigs of podcasts downloaded on this day, and the podcast is only like 80 megs or something. That there's like
Yeah.
a good amount of people listening to it at least.
Right. That makes sense. Oh, spiders.
Oh man, spiders. Also, fuck Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, this
Oh,
movie
man.
is terrible.
Like that new one. Did we talk about this here?
We
About-
did talk about it because you saw it, and then I was like, "Don't spoil anything for me," and you're like, "Okay." And then 6 months later, I saw it, and then we spoiled it. I think.
Okay, I meant the upcoming one, Amazing Spider-Man 2, where like
We did not discuss that.
okay, do you guys care at all about Electro? Is that like a
No.
marquee person to
Yes, but
anyone?
no.
Okay.
Yes, he was one of the originals, but fuck no. Who gives a shit?
Okay. Like
I think pretty much it's Venom, right? I mean, that's the number one. That's the number one seed.
well, like for 90s centric people.
The Goblin, definitely the Goblin.
Goblin, yeah, okay, yeah.
He's
definitely.
been done though.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Doc Ock, and I want
Doc Ock.
Mysterio and always have.
Mysterio is like the guy you will never get because he's literally just a failed magician who started like using parlor tricks and like
yeah.
bombs.
What's wrong
and
with that?
stuff.
What's
No,
wrong
there's
with that
nothing
story?
wrong with it. It's just that nobody cares enough to go see a 2-hour movie involving
Well,
him.
Like I know he's like D tier or something, but if you're gonna give me kind of second run of the mill villains or whatever, like there's like 3 different villains in this upcoming
You're
movie.
right.
So they're
You're
already committing the same problem, like the same sins that Spider-Man 3 did of like
Actually,
too
who are
much.
the villains? I don't actually know.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know either.
the only one worth a damn is Paul Giamatti is playing Rhino. So
That's
hell
amazing.
yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
casting
Good
right
name.
there.
It's
I like that.
amazing. Fantastic. But then they also are like, oh, also we're gonna put Hobgoblin in here. So we got, Goblin Jr.
Hobgoblin's not bad. He was weird.
But he should have his own kind of story. Like he's kind of just also in this one. They might just be setting him up, but he occupies some serious trailer time. And
He
then
was never
Electro.
that much of a like a barn burner showstopper type dude though. Even in like the comics and stuff, he was just kind of
Well-
like the weird guy that just was there at some point.
Well, like, isn't the way Peter deals with the Osborns a pretty big deal? Like, isn't that supposed to
Oh,
be kind of
Oh, absolutely,
Central.
for sure.
yeah?
For sure.
So it seems Norman's already sick and dying in this next one. So his kid kind of takes the reins already.
I thought
Right.
Hobgoblin was a completely different person in the comics, though. He didn't have any ties to that family directly.
So maybe it's just Harry Osborn is is Green Goblin in this continuum. They're just like
From what
hey,
it was,
we're-
it was Norman Osborn was the original Green Goblin.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Harry took that up. And then Hobgoblin was a guy named like Jason something. Maybe he worked for the Osborns or something, but like I don't
know.
remember him being directly tied to them like bloodline.
Okay. All I know is there was not enough Paul Giamatti being crazy in the trailer, as in, like, I don't think he was in that trailer. So that's
Oh.
a serious problem to me. It's just like, I want maximum Paul Giamatti chewing the scenery, like, just eating up the set, just being ridiculous. And if you're
Marshall
not
was
gonna
telling me
try
that he was tied to the Osborns in the form that he stole their shit. So if that was the case, then yeah, he's still not bloodline. So
Yeah. Just a burglar.
he's kind of funnier, actually. It's just like, yeah, I
The
just
dude.
stole their shit, and now I'm gonna cause havoc because why not? I have these bombs; they look like pumpkins. Pretty good, I guess.
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't really. I'm not exactly hyped for that movie. Same with like Captain America's coming out in like a couple months. I don't really care. I don't know.
I kind of don't care about the new Captain America either, mainly because that trailer was so lackluster in anything I should give a shit about that I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be okay because
What do you think about the
I-
new Spider-Man actor, though? I mean, you guys have
I
already
love
probably talked about this before. You love him? Okay. I don't like the
I
image.
like
I don't know.
Social Network, so I
I
like
like
Andrew
the actor.
Garfield. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like the guy. I just don't like. I mean, as Spider-Man, he looks too. I don't know. He looks the hair slick back thing. I don't know. That's not how I picture him in my head. In my head, when I was reading Spider-Man back when I was a kid and stuff. It's not how I
Mhm.
pictured Spider-Man at all.
Is it his Spider-Man or his Peter Parker isn't dorky enough?
Peter Parker? Yeah, exactly. His Peter Parker
Yeah,
is
sure.
dorky.
It's like that
Tobey
guy's way too good
Maguire
looking
is-
to be a nerd. That's
a
not.
Tobey
kid that-
Maguire was the better
Yeah.
Peter Parker, but I think
was, but he's a terrible
Spider-Man wise, Andrew is way better.
Like the sarcastic stuff, he actually does. Okay.
He's way better as Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah, well, like the quipping and dumb shit like that. I don't know. It's a little thing, but like something like that
Fair.
makes a big difference when you're watching a movie like that. Tobey Maguire just has that look that he's like a stupid idiot you want to push and steal his money.
Yeah, but I feel
Okay.
like that was what Peter Parker was, though. But not Spider-Man, clearly. But I
Sure.
feel like that was Peter Parker. And
Sure.
I mean, you guys were talking about the villains and the things about how maybe they were used before in movies and stuff like that. I actually don't mind. This whole thing's a reboot for a reason. That fucking Tobey Maguire series was a dumpster fire. So
Yeah,
I
kind
mean,
of.
It
just-
got that way.
so why not just redo it? I mean, you're already retelling the story of Spider-Man for the 95th time. Why not just go back and use the villains that everybody likes and everybody loves to come out and see? I mean,
Oh
this
no,
is
like I would prefer that. Like they're, Goblin's fine. It's just like, why is Electro here when you could have Doc Ock again or something?
right,
Like,
exactly.
Do one of the.
And they
big
need
ones.
Molina again, right? Because he is Doc Ock. Like he was perfect in that role.
I don't think
as
they'll
much
get
as that
Molina again, but he was
as much
really
as that
good.
movie was kind of garbage, like he was great.
He was really great.
really, really good.
I know, but no, they wouldn't just be like, that would muddy the timeline stuff. Like, it's just like, wait, what? I thought this was a reboot. And it's like, yeah, but he was really good. We wanted to keep that. So we just put it in there. We just couldn't come up with a better thing. So we just did it. So yeah, I'm assuming they just won't put Doc Ock in it for that reason for quite a while. Like, if they get to that point. Didn't they already greenlight like the next two, right? They're
That's what
so
they do with comic
confident.
book movies right now.
Yeah, it's just like this gravy train's not going to stop. Let's.
I mean,
just
how many
keep going.
Avengers movies are approved at this point? Is it like 12?
Like in the grander
The universe,
series, it's at
yeah.
least like 8 or something.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
is a
And
lot.
for all we know, Ant-Man could bomb. All these movies could bomb, and then all of a sudden they've got 8 movies greenlit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of silly, but I almost feel like as a consumer, I'm being taken advantage of by the fact that they're just like, you know what, this thing isn't going away. We're gonna greenlight the next 5 years of your life and just say that you're going to be
because
watching.
they're kind of
superhero
preying
movies.
on your childhood too, right?
Definitely.
Like for sure, because the only reason anybody went to see Avengers is because they liked maybe
Of course.
2 out of the 5 or 6 or whatever garbage movies they put out before. And then they're like, well, we're
course.
going to put all these characters together and now it'll be decent. And it
But
was.
that's
It was
comic
good.
books. Like, it's that.
That is
formula.
comic.
It
It's
is
kind of-
Absolutely.
I keep.
But
coming
that's
back
the
to, like,
reason
how
I've
cheese
hated
is.
Avenger. That's
But
why
I
I
hate-
hated Avengers to begin with, because it was like, well, I like this dude and this dude, but I'm not going to read a full comic with all these like 5 other characters I'd never give a shit about. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
then
gonna
I
go
saw
ahead
Ghost
and read
Rider
my
Spirit of
Spider-Man.
Vengeance like 3 times, and they didn't even tie that shit in. That was the
No.
one I cared about. What the fuck? Where was Nick
Nicolas
Cage,
Cage-
in my Avengers?
Nicolas
movie?
Cage needs more money to spend on castles and weird fossils. That's all.
Yeah.
He's the one
like-
true God.
If they put him in Avengers 2, like, and then it's just like he steps on, and the Captain America's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he just like leaves and surrenders the like head of the Avengers to Ghost Rider because hey, look who just arrived. It's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Everybody get behind me.
Going
But it
back
is
to
Nick
Amazing
Cage.
Spider-Man 2.
Sorry,
All right.
quickly.
my bad.
Gwen Stacy is not going to die in this movie, right? She cannot die to like B-rated villains because she didn't in the comic books. Like, why would the Hobgoblin kill Gwen Stacy all of a sudden? That has to be done properly, I think. Otherwise, people will revolt. There will
Like,
be
it'll
blood
cheapen,
in the
right?
streets.
Like that needs
Yes.
to be a huge moment. And
It
it's
doesn't
not
have to be
like
no.
Mexico.
It doesn't have to be huge, but it has
Okay.
to be bigger than electrifying her and her heart stops or something dumb like that.
Yeah, or it's like
Counterpoint.
Rhino knocks over a dump truck and look who was standing beside it. It was
Yeah,
great.
like they could there's so many ways they could fuck that up, I think.
Yeah.
But though, I think Emma Stone's a big enough actress that if she doesn't really want to be a part of the series, she would be fine. You know what I mean? Like there could be a thing where she doesn't.
Contractually, you have me for 2 movies, so figure
Exactly,
that
it could be that sort of thing where if it's actually it follows the the comic books and all that, it could make sense because she doesn't need Amazing Spider-Man to be a gigantic, huge megastar. She's got the doe eyes that all the guys love, so she can be in any
for
movie
sure.
at this point and make $1 million or what million? Why did I say $1 million? Like that was a big number. She can make a shit ton of
Get
money.
that $1 million.
So are you suggesting she either could die in this next movie because
think
maybe
she
she has a
could.
contract or something like that, or they
It's
could do the old
plausible.
bait and switch and she's in it, and then in Amazing Spider-Man 3 we have like Zoe Deschanel or something terrible.
Well,
God,
like they recast her or what?
I don't know about that. I
Sure.
would say it's more likely that
They
They're-
did
they would
it
be more
in
willing to
Batman.
kill the
They did it
character.
in Batman. That's all I'm saying. Nolan was just like, fuck this bitch. We're going to get this other weird bitch in here.
Well, yeah, I mean that was necessary.
This other weird. Exactly.
But here's the thing: like, I think that if most people, I mean, you talk to a man on the street, who are they going to say? Who's the guy that Peter Parker's dating? Are they going to say Gwen Stacy?
No,
Yeah.
they're gonna say Mary Jane.
Of course, that. So, I mean, I think I can see if they're looking to do this a long-term series, you could see Gwen Stacy exit here, mostly, or even for that reason, And if you have an actress who is kind of just glomming on and she's growing her star with the Amazing Spider-Man series, she might not agree to only do 2 movies when there's like 6. But I think you got a number of factors here where you could see maybe they do kill her off here, and maybe they move on to the new Mary Jane. Or, it could be a thing.
Okay,
think
let's
they
cast
cast
right
her.
now. New Mary Jane.
No, dude, I
we
think
got?
they already cast her. It's Shailene Woodley from The Descendants.
Eh,
So, yeah.
Well,
no,
then
she
there
was
you
good.
go.
She was good. What are you talking about?
There you go, though. I mean, if they've already cast her,
Did you see The Descendants? What are you ing about? Alexander Payne movies. Oh, so bad.
that's not it at all. What I was
Okay.
Why do you get so specific? It's just like, oh, this director. It's like, no, that's not at all what I was getting at. But
Okay.
anyways, you know what?
She's
it doesn't
in
matter.
Divergent, that upcoming trilogy of things or whatever.
my wife is reading that series right now.
I have
It's
no
a
idea
great-
what it's about. It's like a sci-fi thing. Kate Winslet's
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
sort of Hunger Gamesy. Basically, it's teen pop. It's the same shit as Hunger Games, same shit as Twilight and all that. In terms of how it's teen pop fiction. So it's not. My wife says it's not very well written, but it's very popcorny. Like you can read it really quick. She said it's basically about a society where you're based on your traits, like your personality traits. So it's everybody takes a fucking what's that test that everybody takes when they're a kid that tells you your personality
IQ
type.
test.
No, the personality type test, the Myers-Briggs.
Well, I mean,
Everybody
if
takes
you-
like a Myers-Briggs, and then they figure out what their
Arguably, if you take an
society is.
IQ test, you
That's
know
true,
what
too.
your position in
That's
society
true, too.
will be. You're going to be
Good
the
point, Paul.
garbage
Good
man that
point.
picks. You're going to be the garbage man that picks up my garbage because you're a fucking idiot. That's what
Right.
that says to you when you're 2 years old.
Just
Right.
on that point, I kind of want to bring up this weird trend I've noticed just in the receiving room at the store I work at. Like, we get a lot of toys and stuff in now, too. And there's been, like, a weird amount of just, like, kid janitor kits. Like, it's just-
Amazing. That's so
Are
good.
you
like, it's
kidding
like,
me?
here's a broom and dustpan. And it's just like, wow.
Get to work, kids. This
They're
is
just
all
like
you're going to be doing.
setting these expectations so much lower than when I was a kid. It's like you could be like a cowboy or a spaceman. It's just like, no, you're gonna be a janitor. Like, just get used to it now. Here's your broom. Sweep it up. Let's go. It's just like, okay. Like,
Just like
That
know
is
your
awful.
position in life. Get back in line, maggot, sort of thing.
yeah, it's just like set those priorities, like set those expectations right now, like a little more realistically this time, and maybe everyone will be better adjusted in the future. They won't be disappointed because it's
Yeah,
like,
maybe people will be like, yes, I'm a janitor.
I did it. I got that job I was shooting. for.
Honestly, what you were saying, though, it didn't sound like it was bad to be a janitor because you got paid almost as much as I got paid when you were a janitor, and you got
Yeah.
to kind of like come in when no one else was around and just do your own thing. That
No,
sounds
I
kind of
actually
amazing.
Really liked it, but that was the one job I lost without my vocation.
I guess what we're saying here is that you should probably aspire to be a janitor if you're listening to this right now and you don't have a career path, because it's probably the best you're going to get if you're listening to us. I mean, come on.
There's some sort of
and then you
textbook
can
go
listen
for
to
that,
us while you're sweeping, and that'll, there you go.
We will always be there. We don't die, unlike Gwen Stacy in the next movie, confirmed by Panic Knife, 2014.
Right? Heyo. You
All
can
right.
quote me on that one. You can quote me.
So we'll check back in May or whenever that comes
Meanwhile,
out.
I haven't seen the first one. I wanted to, I just didn't see it.
It's really actually good. I really
It's the
enjoy
same
it.
origin story again, though. Like it was
That's what I'm
like
saying.
the scene
Yeah.
with Uncle Ben just kind of like brought back flashbacks. It was just like, wow, it's like I'm literally watching the same movie, except
why-
slightly better actors are in it. So
That's why I'm not at all excited about watching it. Like I was thinking, and I keep hearing from people, oh, it's really good. You should go see it. And then I'm like, man, but it's gonna be the same origin story again. I already know the origin story. It's just gonna be a different take on the same fucking story.
Okay,
know, I
but
mean-
let me put this
They
to
do
you.
lizard
What
stuff,
if you
though.
What if you watch the original origin story again, but this time Uncle Ben is a decent actor?
Yeah, it's
That's
Martin
true.
Sheen.
I mean, I'm so into Martin Sheen. Did you guys? You probably didn't see. I think I tweeted it on my departed drinking game.
Like every time
on New
Queen-
Year's. I had every time Queenan goes on screen, you have to drink and salute him as Mr. President, and if you don't, you have to
Amazing.
double.
Amazing.
I fucking love Martin Sheen. Yeah, I get that though. I mean, I guess if you look at it, okay, good. They're better actors. It's better done. It's just like I don't know. I'd have to have it in front of me, and then I'd have to just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna just put some time into it. I'm sure I'd love it, but I just have never gotten down to it yet. Never yet. Wow.
Yeah.
Little drunk.
No, that's fair. It was like I had a friend who was like super excited about it, so it's just like, sure, okay, fine, I'll go. Like it's like, and this year that has started to dissipate a bit because it's just like, well, Brittany's not in town tonight or whatever, so I can't go tonight, and they still want to go, so I guess I'll just sit this one out. And then it's just like, I never saw Thor 2, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay. And then Catching Fire, came along. It's just like, yeah, I'm busy, and then never saw that either. It's just like, okay, and I'll
Good.
just sit that out, just miss some of this stuff and not worry about it. And maybe it's secretly great, and I'll see it eventually on Netflix in like 2 years and be like, oh wow, huh, all right.
I really
Everyone
kind of
was
want to
like-
see Catching Fire. I just haven't seen it yet either.
I've heard it's fine. I don't know. It's not my.
I did see that. I did see that first one, and you know what?
I did too.
As much as I hate to say it, I kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of okay.
I liked it too. I almost said love there, just because you start to like everything a little bit more when you've had a little alcohol.
Yeah,
But
see, I wasn't gonna say love because I do
No,
not
it's
in
not
any
a
way
love.
love it. But
my wife, who is of course reading the Divergent series, also had me read. I'm probably gonna end up reading that fucking series too. But she had me read Hunger Games in that series, so I was like, all right, well, I'll go see the movie. And it's nothing like well, it is something like the book. Obviously, the concepts are the same and all that, but there's so many differences to the book. I couldn't enjoy the movie. Like all I did was just pick apart. That's different. Well, that's different. And of course, they're usually for good reasons. I mean, it's because you can't show that, or you can't actually recreate that on the screen. There's inner dialogue and shit like that. But I couldn't enjoy it fully, but I did enjoy it because Jennifer Lawrence is really good, and I would say great. Everybody has an orgasm over her because she's hot and she's not like a robot, but she's good in the movie and all that stuff. So I enjoyed it. I would see Catching Fire, and we have a theater nearby that's one of the Brewfest theaters and stuff like that. So I started to go to more movies again, but I just haven't gotten out to see that yet.
fair enough. Yeah.
Does that just mean you can get food and like alcohol and stuff while you're watching?
So
or-
the theater, it's great. I mean, you go sit down, and first of all, it's leather chairs and all that stuff, and it's a smaller theater in terms of capacity. But yeah, you can. They will come in and like sneak around and sneak up behind your seat. Basically, you write down your orders on a piece of paper and you stick it up on the table in front of you. You stand it up. They come by and they grab it, and then they bring your food and beers out to you and stuff like that. And
Okay.
it's pretty. What the really cool part is, first of all, they won't let you in if you're late. So like if you miss the start of the movie, they're not letting anybody in. They have a guy outside
Who's
the theater who
who's
won't let you in.
late though, right?
I mean,
these days
I know,
anymore?
but that's a thing. Like people will go and walk over you when you're sitting there. But the other thing about it is like they will, if somebody's talking during the movie or making really any noise, you can write on your card that dude 2 seats over from me is talking a lot. They'll bring a manager out there and warn them. And you get 2 warnings. They'll actually kick you out of the movie. So it's really an interesting and good atmosphere. Like most people just sit there and watch movies and drink beer and eat a little food, and there's really
Wow.
no noise in the theater. Great, like it's not like a trashy quality for the screen or anything. They got full 4K screen and the full sound, Dolby sound and all that shit. So it's really awesome. Newest movies and everything.
Well, that does it. Nathan and I are now moving to Virginia.
Yeah, well they have them. I guess it's like a chain, I guess, but they just
it's
came
the
out too.
Alamo. Is
Yeah,
it?
the
or-
Alamo. The Alamo.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, no, I've definitely.
Okay.
heard of it. They
Yeah,
it's just really good. The one around here is pretty new too, so that helps.
cool. Okay.
Very cool. See, that would actually
Movie
make me go
going.
to a theater because I know that it's going to be decent.
Yeah,
No,
like
for
I
a
mean,
In the
fact.
theater and guys are screaming at the screen and stuff. It's like terrible.
there's a Cineplex is starting their own kind of initiative to kind of ape that format. I guess there was a VIP theater in Abbotsford that we went to see Carrie, and it had kind of a similar thing where you could order food and get beer and stuff at your seat. So
The problem with
Yeah.
theaters is that you always get that loud black woman thing where somebody's like, "Oh hell no," or something.
Oh hell no!
Shh.
Snap, snap.
Shut the! Don't go
like,
in
just
there. It's like I'm gonna
reacting
kill
to the
you.
movie, we've had like today we had people talking to the trailers, kind of like just like and like just laughing at all the things and be like,
Okay with
that's
that.
really great, like that kind of thing. But during the movie, everyone was pretty.
Some
with
of
it.
my best experiences in a movie theater have been when like something happens in a trailer that's funny, and there's only one dude in the back that goes ha 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 or something, and then everyone else starts laughing. You're just like, that dude just made this experience worth the $25. That's
Yeah,
good.
I was that guy during Burn After Reading, by the way.
Amazing.
I saw that in the theaters, and a friend of mine and I were the only two people who thought it was the funniest movie on the planet. During the scene where, spoiler alert, Brad Pitt gets shot in the closet, we
He
were
does.
slapping our knees, like just dying laughing. Everybody was staring at us like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?"
It's like it's
That
New
was
York
the
comedy.
best.
Like that's what this is for. Like,
When you're the only one laughing at a part
Yes,
that's really
two people.
morbid is the best thing in movies ever. When
The
just like
greatest
you,
thing.
I think that maybe happened in like Hobo with a Shotgun or something when you and I went to see it, Nathan. Well, like
Yeah.
something happened and we just both started laughing and it was so quiet in the theater.
it's like
Yeah,
no, it's
it-
funny. His head got ripped off. What? I don't understand. that was the dude from Trailer Park Boys, and he's dead. That's the point.
I love that show.
That was a good movie. They play the Raccoons theme song. It's the best part. It's right at the end.
You're
too.
right.
So it's just like
It
you've
is-
had a good time, and then it's just like let's end on the best note we could find. It's so good.
Doesn't he have a picture of like a bear or something?
Yeah, he just has a picture of a bear.
I
It's like
remember-
framed in his house. It's just like
I, rem-
it's a
I
cool
remember-
bear. It's like,
I
okay.
remember that being part of what like where we just laughed like
Yeah.
maniacally for some reason.
Rutger Hauer is actually really great in that. I think he did a commentary on it. I really need to watch that. I have the Blu-ray, but I have not done that yet. It's a quality film. Quality film.
Speaking of quality films, I just watched Good Burger, Home of the Good Burger.
Yeah, it's on Netflix streaming.
It
I
is
saw
on
that it
Netflix.
was. Yeah. I was like,
That
I
okay.
haven't seen it yet.
That movie made me relive 1990 something. I don't even know what 90 it was because I think it was a bit later, but it was still shitty looking, like really shitty looking. So
Okay.
like it might have been like a 98 or 99 that looked like a 91 or 92 or something,
I'm
but
gonna
not like a
check right
not like a Spielberg 92 or something.
I thought it was
You know
like
what I
94 or 96 or something.
You know, that would make sense because it probably looks about that era. So maybe it was, but either way, that movie, oh man. If you want to see black people running around being funny, that movie is not the movie for you.
Oh,
That
okay.
Well,
Oh,
it's funny
man.
because they all go on to be on like Saturday Night Live and stuff like that.
Oh, they
Kenan
went on to
Thompson.
everyone
Yeah.
in that
They're
movie went on to
extremely
have
successful.
a great career.
Oh,
Everyone in
97.
that movie.
Sorry, 1997. Oh yeah, Sinbad, great career.
Okay, to be fair though, Sinbad's part in that is literally to just be the guy that gets screwed over every time.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's kind of his career, right?
Wait,
that kind of like
Shaq's
set
in
the
it?
precedent.
Why is
What?
Shaq is in it? No.
Shaq is in it. He is there, and they bring him a good burger, and they ask him how it is, and he says it's good. It's the best acting you will ever see Shaquille O'Neal do in his life.
Okay.
That includes Steel. Was this
Doing,
called
like the
Steel?
nod? Like yeah,
it was
it's good.
called Steel. Yeah.
Steel.
Steel was a bad movie. Like, if you don't remember it, that Steel costume was totally made out of rubber. So that was great, but everything about that movie is just terrible. Anyways,
That's
Good
comically
Burger. You can
correct.
watch it on Netflix instant streaming right now, and I suggest instead of listening to us, you do so because it is one of the better things you'll ever do in your life. That's probably not true, but it does have weird burgers, and it's basically Dodgeball, an underdog story. only with burgers and black people. So
Was
take
it
that
made
for-
by actually Disney or Nick or somebody like that though? I feel like it was
Nickelodeon.
because it was based on a Nickelodeon show, right? But
It was
was
yeah,
it was
no,
produced by Nickelodeon, right?
it was made by Nickelodeon. Yep.
How much better would the movie have been if there was actually allowed to be cursing and stuff like that though?
I hear laughing, and I want to know.
No, it's like, why is part of your endorsement like it's got weird burgers?
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
if
It
you want
does
to
have
see a
weird
movie with
burgers,
weird
because-
burgers.
No, no,
Also
no,
really
no,
into menu humor.
no, no. Listen to this. So their competition, Mondo Burger, which is like that big gym across the street from like Average Joe's or whatever in Dodgeball. Their burger is
Gotta
they're
get
called
Mondo.
Mondo Burger, and what they do is they use like this chemical ingredient to make their burgers huge. So their burgers are really funny looking. So if you want funny burger humor, this is probably the movie.
It's the pinnacle of funny burger humor.
Just that's a subgenre of some kind. Burger humor.
Burger
All
humor.
right.
You look on Netflix or categories, and you know you have like dark comedies and indie romances and
like
burger
witty,
humor.
suspenseful dramas, and then it's like burger humor. I want more like this, please.
Why wouldn't
would-
you?
If you saw that come up on your Netflix, though, you would definitely say yes. Come on,
Probably would.
burger humor
Let's quickly talk about Netflix right now because I have a bone to pick with Nathan.
on Netflix.
Oh,
right now.
why? Oh,
What
why?
What are you doing recommending Bronies, a documentary or whatever the hell it's called, to me? Because
in
I
it?
got spammed by emails, and now it's at the top
The
of
best
my
news.
Netflix page as like
The best
Nathan
news.
says you should watch this right now. It's like,
Dude,
what?
I like co-financed that movie, so I was like, I should,
You're
spread
essentially a
this around.
producer.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
basically a producer. So no, it's not true. I could have been credited as a producer if I gave more money.
How
It
was
a
that movie?
Kickstarter thing? It was so much less awful than I was ready for, but that's not a great endorsement. I don't know.
They should put that on the fucking back of the box right there.
So much less awful than Krasner G was ready for. So, it says a lot. I don't know. I was
Heard it,
just
chat. He said it. Raise your Krasner G's right now.
Oh man.
10 seconds later, we'll see a bunch of Nathan heads. Anyways, so you were ready for it to be terrible.
Yeah, like I mean, I've gotten so used to this fandom being like extremely self-congratulatory, and this is still sort of that. But some of the interviews they get, like specifically with Lauren Faust, like she has a pretty good perspective on like this show and like what it might actually achieve instead of like this weird bubble it's in right now. Like it's just like, if this could eventually one day impact someone's life in a positive way, like down the line, that would be great or something like that. She has like a pretty grounded perspective on it. And I don't know, there was just some good interviews in there. It was reasonably well put together. Like just following the Kickstarter updates, I was prepared for that movie to be kind of just a train wreck. But
it's about
least-
Brony, so you should have been ready for that anyway.
right, I guess. Sure. But I don't know. It kind of made me feel okay about the whole thing again. It's like, yeah, man, those first 2 seasons, that was the time. Because this was almost a flashback to that time when I was most excited about it.
This might be a good point, like, to throw in, is that Aaron started watching My Little Pony last night. So I don't know what you've done, but I'm pretty sure I need to kill you so she goes back to normal. That's how it goes, right? You kill patient 0 and everything else goes back to normal.
Oh, wait, like, was it one of those things where it shows up as, like, your friends on Netflix have been into, and it's, like, one of those, or was it
I
directly?
think so. I don't know,
Okay.
but, like, we're talking about, like, she watched the documentary and then a couple episodes of the actual series, so I don't know what you've done, but I'm pretty sure I need to put a dagger in your heart so everything goes back to normal.
It's not like vampirism. It's not the same. It's just, it's just a cartoon. Actually, that's maybe the worst part of it is people being that defensive about it. Like, just like, no, it's normal. I just really like the animation and stuff. Like, it's like, I have become more and more in line with, what's the dude's name? Hot Diggity Demon. What's his real name? Max? Isn't it?
Yeah, Max something. I can't remember his last name, though.
Right. Like, his kind of view on it is just like, no, you're kind of fucking weird if you're way into this show, but you should just kind of own it, Like, just that's just part of what you're about, and that's fine. But there's like this sort of really defensive attitude that can come up around it, and some of the interviews in there definitely had me kind of getting a little getting my spine up again,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
it used to do. But
Well, here's what bothers me about the whole culture. It's not. I'm not going to actually go on some crazy rant or something like that. Have you guys heard the story from when Eno drove Chugga Conroy around last year?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, of course I have, because I used to. I mean, now
Yeah.
we probably will more. We talked a lot though, but yes, of course I have.
Basically,
Why-
for those of you who haven't heard it, Chugga Conroy, who's a huge YouTuber, whatever. I mean, he's really big into YouTube. He's got a really
he's
popular
a pretty
channel.
big deal.
He's
And
a
in
brony.
fact, you know what? If you're listening to this, you probably know because you came here
You
for
probably
John
do.
originally.
I mean, you probably know. But I feel like there are people who use being a brony in order to be a conversation starter, in order to be a contrarian, because his whole thing was he wanted everyone in the car to know he was a brony. I mean, obviously the Runaway guys all knew that he was a brony already, but
Of course.
he unprompted, completely out of nowhere, just pulls out his DS and loudly, or not the DS, it's like a tablet, and starts loudly listening to My Little Pony. Look, it's cool. I have no problem with most people. If you want to do your thing, I'm not into it. It's cool. It sounds like I'm talking about something way worse than being a brony or whatever.
Rihanna and
Pony.
Ti said in that
But-
song, "Live your life."
Right, exactly.
So,
It's
right.
fine, whatever. I don't care. But
No,
I feel like some people use it and be like, hey, I want you to know that I'm this, and here's why. Here's why it's cool. Here's why it's not a thing. So it's like they want it to be a conversation starter. And
I
that's
know.
kind of where I'm like, come on, man.
I feel like I definitely did that for a while, and it's kind of just this thing where, like, I mean, it's kind of the same way I like only talked about Rise of the Planet of the Apes for a couple months. Like, it's just like,
Oh yeah, no, trust me, we all remember.
I know every now and then there's a thing that like fully captures my attention. I'm just like, this is so great. I'm so excited. And then I just kind of, you get into this weird evangelical kind of phase where you need to just get it out there. And I don't know why that happened, but it did. And I guess I apologize. I don't know. But it's like, yeah, that tendency definitely seemed to happen. They kind of survey that a bit in this. Like, there's very extroverted people, and that's kind of how they do it. They just kind of go around trumpeting how great the show is for some reason. Like, I don't know if they really want people to watch it or if it's kind of substitution for like their personality in this weird way. It's just like, well, I like this, and this is going to be part of who I am, and this is the thing.
Absolutely. I agree.
It's just like-
Absolutely.
Okay, I guess like I tried not to just have it be like it is the defining thing. Like, for a long time it was, but now it's like just another thing. Like, just put it on the shelf with every other interest I have had over the years. But I don't know. This movie focuses mostly on kind of awkward introverted people who like the
Right.
show kind of helped come out of their shell a little bit, and that was kind of nice to see. Like, it's just like, here's a guy, he literally has Asperger's and is like having trouble relating to people and getting out there, and he's going to go to this thing and he has a pretty good weekend. And you're just like, okay, cool. Like, it was almost like, that's kind of like how I felt the first time I went to a PAX or something. Like, when I first saw that there was this community that thought what I thought was cool was cool. So it was
Sure.
kind of neat to see that kind of thing. And yeah, there's like 2 or 3 stories that kind of reminded me of that. And I was like, okay, this is overall like a worthwhile thing. Sorry for clicking on it. I thought, it's just like, hey, we could talk about this. If he watches it, make it a thing. And yeah, I know the Netflix recommendation thing does kind of bomb all of your feeds with that. So sorry.
No,
do it.
it's totally fine. Let's talk about Netflix again for a second, because this was
Sorry,
brought
we
up
got
in the
off on it.
chat.
Okay.
This is brought up in the chat, and I think it bears us talking about quickly, because people are telling you that you should do something. Now I know that,
what you're saying. Animes for jerks.
but apparently Attack on Titan, the full series, is on Netflix right now, and people are saying you should watch it, Nathan. I kind of agree, because out of all anime I've seen, it's probably the least offensive in the way that most anime is, in that anime is usually garbage.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know if I even agree with that, but okay.
Well, I mean, like, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I get so annoyed with the cliches in a lot of anime. There's been a few that people recommended to me that when I looked into it, they sound real cool. And I'm glad I looked into Attack on Titan. So I think maybe you should too. I will warn you, if you do want to, like, one day just be like on a larf, be like, yeah, I'm going to watch a few episodes. It doesn't start getting good for a few. So
Okay.
maybe start watching and just realize you're not going to maybe get into it until episode 5 to 10, somewhere in there.
I guess the
But
only
there-
thing I'm concerned about with just this, like, I didn't know it was on Netflix, so that is normally a really convenient way to watch stuff. However, don't they by default only have dubs on Netflix? Is that
I have no idea, honestly.
Okay.
I just heard about this from the chat. If you can help it, just download the subtitles, maybe. The dubs might be okay, because you could put the first few episodes on and just, like, on the background while you're doing other stuff.
Okay.
But
I'm not
like,
opposed to watching the show. It's just I didn't get around to it when it was kind of hot. I guess I'm a little surprised it's already available. Like, wasn't that September or something? Wasn't that still on?
it was like March or April of last year, I think. I was just really late to it.
I
Oh,
know
okay.
nothing about this, but I know that Netflix has been putting stuff up a lot quicker now, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they have been putting stuff out crazy fast, which is great because I don't even have like cable or TV or anything down here. So Netflix is our only way to get anything decent ever.
Yeah, I feel like some of the shows that I've watched that have been, the season's been done for 2 months, and I feel like the season's already going back up. They've gotten so much better just since their market share has gotten so much bigger than it's been before. And it's become kind of ubiquitous. Like everybody has Netflix at this point, it seems like. So they've been putting up shows and that sort of stuff a lot quicker, which is really good. I like it a lot.
I thought I read something that like Comcast just lost like another 250,000 subscribers or something. Like, I think people are just starting to make that jump where they're like, TV is kind of garbage and the internet will allow me to watch a TV episode like at least the next day if
Yeah,
I
and,
want it. Like, I could just
more and
download it
more-
and watch it whenever.
Like, I've actually been really impressed with how many shows have gotten hip to just having their show on the website. Like Community, I watched the first 2 episodes of the new season on NBC. Like, it was just
If
like,
you're
oh,
not
cool.
Canadian and locked out from everything.
Well, I know I'm obviously
Fuck
lying
these.
about where I live, but I
Yeah.
feel like I'm still having ads served to me. So, like, in a way, I'm helping the show, right? Like, aren't they
Or
seeing that
browser.
number? Right.
Yeah,
Aren't they?
no, you're right. I'm with you.
Okay. And all of Hannibal as well. Like the first season of that was.
I heard that's
there.
really good.
I
heard
actually,
that's
yeah, I
good.
was really impressed by that show for like a network show. Like, I think I talked about how weird it is though that like the only thing they can get away with on network television is crazy violence. Like, they don't have cursing or sex on that show, but it is like gnarly serial killer stuff, and they still make that kind of gut churning, and it's weird. Like, it's just like, oh, can we have like this character go, oh fuck, in the scene? It's like, no, that's over the line. Can we have like a dude growing mushrooms inside living people in like this creepy garden? Yeah, that's fine. Just
Okay,
do that.
you have me. Okay, you have my attention now.
It's like, can this dude
So-
cut off this guy's face? Yeah, okay, that's fine.
That's
You know.
fine. Sounds good.
That's okay. It's like,
I'm
oh,
surprised.
Speaking of
um,
which,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
Okay,
You go
I was
ahead.
going to say, speaking of like the random things that are okay and aren't okay, my my wife and I, we've been watching How I Met Your Mother just because I watched a couple episodes when I was playing MMOs in the background and I was liking it, so I was like, hey, let's watch this. That is for a CBS drama, which usually in the U.S. CBS is so conservative with everything they do. Raunchy as shit, but
It
they don't
is,
say
yes.
the F word. But the things they imply in there, I'm like, holy shit, they're implying double penetration, things like that. I'm just like, holy shit, this is dirty as hell. But yeah, no cursing, of course not. Why would you have cursing, right?
yeah.
all
Huh.
all you have to do is just be like DVDA, and then
Yeah.
like people in the know what that's about, and people that aren't in the chat, go ahead and Google DVDA right now and see what you bring up. I bet you won't bring anything up because it's kind of a myth in those circles. I don't know if it can be done, quite honestly. Just physically, like maybe weird positioning or something, but either way, it doesn't matter. What I was going to get at, I guess, before we started going on to this weird tangent is
All I do.
what's that?
That's all I do. Weird tangent.
That's all you're here for.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wanted to quickly go back to the Brony thing because I wanted to put another plug in for the lineofdudes.com. That's lineofdudes.com. But anyways, they talked to GLaDOS and the
Ellen
TF2
McLean.
sniper,
Ellen McLean and John Patrick Lowry.
and they were talking about bronies a little bit.
Yes.
And that's where the Eno story came up with Chugga in the back seat, I guess,
Yeah.
like for people that have listened to that as well. What were, like, maybe explain, Panic, what was like the talk about bronies specifically? I know Eno was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, it got a little weird. The thing is, like, they're talking about how, when you go to these conventions, and I'm sure it's the same, for if you go to a BronyCon or something like that, it's really safe, if that makes sense. People can just do whatever the fuck they want. Like, you see guys dressing up as whatever they want. Like there was a ton of people that would dress as women, and there's a lot of people who dressed in in My Little Pony outfits and stuff like that. And we were just talking with them, and they were like, it's always been really impressive to us. Speaking as them, it's always been really impressive to them that they would go into these conventions and people wouldn't be judged for anything they were wearing. If anything, they would be really happy that they would get a chance to do that. And what we ended up moving the topic into, which it was a little awkward. I was mentioning the fact that, and I wanted to bring this up too. The brony and the furry groups need to separate, and I think for the bronies really need to separate from that group, because that gives people the wrong impression. Because there's some weird shit going on in the furry groups that has absolutely nothing to do with My Little Pony. But
we've had this discussion before, believe it or not.
There were a ton of furries up at MagFest, and it got a little weird to the point where I saw something on Reddit saying that people were asking, what does it mean when you get a street pass and the person says, look me up on FA, and it's Fur
Affinity. Yep.
And I mean, you see people that are dressed up in like in a My Little Pony cosplay, and then you see somebody that's just straight up furry, and you're like, the average person on the street might think, oh, those are the same people. No, not at all.
Like the lines are blurring a bit because it's just like they dress like animals, right? That's like weird spirit animal thing,
right?
And it's just like it's. Yeah, I can see why you'd think that, but it's not quite the same. Although at the same time, I feel like no community has been demonized more than the furry community of late, right? So no sense piling on.
Do they bring it upon themselves, though? I mean, let's have a quick discussion about this. They kind of do some weird things. Like, that's not to say that the brony community doesn't, and even the video game community. I mean, I was talking about a Samus body pillow that somebody had, and everybody's like, "Yeah, bro, high fiving." You know what,
dude,
that crazy?
That's really gay. Doing. Let me see that link.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
rusty pillows.
I don't know. I don't know if it even bears repeating, because we've had this discussion before, kind of in depth, which was weird, and it was with another guest. So I don't know how this keeps coming up. With other people, but
preoccupations.
Like, even that person that emailed me that says like, love the show, blah blah blah. I am a freelance artist. I've done work for Fur Affinity people, and they are disgusting. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Do they bring it upon themselves? Maybe it's like the people, like, not all bronies bring it upon themselves, but there are a few that are just like, watch me jerk off on this fucking Twilight Sparkle thing or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was no.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not being like facetious in this. That was a thing that happened. There was a video of somebody jerking off on top of a My Little Pony figure, and it was probably the thing that set me over the edge. That's like, a lot of bronies are kind of gross.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was your nope moment.
That was through my Twitter feed where I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, this can't be right. Like, YouTube, this is YouTube.
It was taken down pretty quickly, but I was able to see the mess that occurred. And let me tell you, I have never seen a My Little Pony character just so disgusting in my life before.
Wild.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Sorry, what was do they bring it upon themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's this very kind of exuberant, flamboyant kind of thing, like dressing up. Yeah. What is yiffing? Yiffing?
Oh my god.
Yiffing is the correct terminology, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. Again, it seems to be like maybe making one thing a bit, like giving it a bit too much of a percentage of who you are, maybe like one specific avenue of expression maybe is part of the thing, but I don't know, like, the point of reference I keep coming back to is like people being really weird and critical of Dust and Elysian Tale just because there's like anthropomorphic animal characters in it,
which is ridiculous.
Like, like there's people who like are so mad about furries to the point where they're kind of have weird blinders on, like they're just in this weird rage state where it's just like, this is so weird and I hate it, and it's just like, okay, like, some of it is probably really weird, but I don't know why or how you're encountering that stuff unless you're like going to subreddits and you're just like, I want Rule 34 comics to be about nothing but Scooby-Doo. What's with all this other crap?
So you're thinking that the problem might be that because these people like something so much, it's encapsulated so much of their life that even the basic things like sexual urges are now like related to whatever show or
Yeah.
fandom they're a part of.
I guess so. But like, is that it's more like how that weirds out other people is what I find strange. Like, it's just like, how are you encountering these people on such a regular basis that you have opportunities to get so angry about it?
Well, if you go to a
Conventions.
convention, it's pretty easy.
I guess once you're in a kind of public space where all sorts of nerd inclinations are crossing over, like you're going to kind of bump into some stuff you're not into.
Not even crossing over, but accepted. Like, I think, I'm not going to repeat this.
Like, you don't
story,
like the
but
pep rally kind of aspect?
when I
of
went
it?
to that Calgary Expo or whatever the hell we had here, the Anime
Odafest?
Expo,
Yeah,
Oda
you
Fest,
really
yeah.
were into Oda Fest.
that was, I'm not going to go through that again.
Whereas it was just kind of like animation and voice actors and stuff was why I was there, and I had a good time. But I guess
Which is
there was-
awesome, but you also
shady
didn't see a bunch of
weirdness.
12-year-old girls dressed like gross anime characters and then hear a
Yeah.
guy jerking off in the bathroom.
I didn't-
Oh, hey.
Neither of those things happened to me. So yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, they got some NES games over here, and I ran into that dude Daniel.
See, you had the good
Hey.
convention experience. I had the bad one.
yeah. So, and I watched
Speaking
a bunch
of which,
indie-
Let me
Any of
give you
you
my
guys
take on
tried-
this.
a little
Hold on a
bit.
sec. Let me give you my take on this furry thing. So basically, I think that the reason why they do bring it on themselves is because everybody is very, very, very aware of how this appeals to children. It's so clear that you're dressed like anthropomorphic characters. That's how we market to children. That's how we market, cartoons. How we market
yeah.
all kind of animation, that sort of thing. They're so insanely aware of that, and they're aware of it. It doesn't bother them, and they in fact sometimes not champion it outwardly, but they know that, and they push the extremes of that. So yeah, they bring it on themselves, and I think that people, like I said, people associate bronyism with them. I'm not. I've never once in my life watched My Little Pony. When I was a kid, it was basically what people said. Girls watch the show, so I was into GI Joe, whatever. That's gender roles, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I was never into it. So that's not what I'm saying, but I can at least sort of on some level see that you could see, hey, I'm watching the show, it's something from my childhood. It's something I like the message that's here. And, there's a culture here. Okay, fine. I don't get it, but it's not nearly, I mean, there's fringes there that are sexual, but it's not nearly as sexual as the furry community is, which is, I'd say, whereas the brony community is maybe 15% sexual, I'd say the furry community is like 75% sexual. And maybe that's a misconception, but you have a community there that's very, very outwardly sexual. And it's so it's so on the fringes of things that kids like that.
Right. I guess that's got to be a big part of what makes people uncomfortable. But like for me, it's kind of like, well, cartoons have been around for so long. Like at some point, someone who watched Robin Hood in 1972 or whenever that came out grew up and is now 48, and for some reason that became kind of part of how they pattern sexuality, and
Right.
now that's going to get weird because it's like, no, I'm
Sure.
into it for entirely different reasons. Why you would want like someone today watching it, like a kid watching that show.
Yeah.
So that's where like the things cross over. So like you're just trying to have a good time at this anime convention, and then someone else is having a very different good time. And
Well,
that's
the
not-
thing that really bugged me is that all the kids that would go up and try to take pictures with the furries.
yeah, it's just like
Oh,
this is not like Disneyland. This is
No.
different. This is not like that. It looks like that, but this person is here.
Not at all like that. That costume isn't just dirty.
Well, it's kind of like that. Let's not lie.
You're
It's a little
saying,
bit like,
oh, are you saying like the secret best job for furries is Disneyland? And like there's
I don't know
a
how secret it is.
high percentage of just like
oh,
and
dude, totally.
Mickey Mouse.
I mean, let me put it this way. You know how like furries are obsessed with like being different like spirit animals or whatever, and then dressing up like them and going out and being like accepted?
yeah.
What if like, okay, what if you could go out and just like dress like Obama in the States? Like you're the most accepted person in the nation. That's what it is like being in Disneyland. Some furry is out there like Mickey Mouse, and every kid loves him, and they're just like, I am
They're
gonna
getting
fuck
off
the
on that
shit
power
out of
high.
some other Minnie Mouse right now in a suit.
Yeah.
That Minnie Mouse, she's dirty. Oh yeah. Oh
Like, it's kind of weird. Like I don't think Disney employees can talk about that kind of stuff, right? Like, is there no kind of tell-all? I was
Like an
Mickey
N-
Mouse for
like an
5
NDA.
years. Yeah, like they're pretty secretive, like about that whole thing because they want it to be a magical
sure.
place, right? Escape.
They're
Magical
completely
indeed.
secretive. I think that's like enough to lose your job over. At least
Oh,
lose
sure.
your job. You might be like even sued if you have to sign something when you join, which I
Like
wouldn't.
if you talk
doubt.
about it, like if you go and like explain how things are behind the scenes and whatever. Like not even saying it's bad, like just kind of like give people like just break down the illusion and just be like, yeah, I am Mickey Mouse. Like I was Mickey Mouse. I wore the costume. That big thing at the end with like all the fireworks when you're on the boat. That's kind of scary or whatever. Like if they just kind of relay that, they would get in trouble. Like Disney would be
I
like,
don't know
whoa,
about
whoa,
that.
whoa.
That would be the best AMA I've ever seen. I was Mickey Mouse and I yiffed in my Mickey Mouse
Oh,
suit.
God.
Ask me anything.
I can imagine if you go into like the dark corners of the internet that there are things where people talk about that. I just don't think that. I mean, if you can trace it back to yourself, it's going to be a shit show, right? I mean, anything.
That private
if you
thing
have
where it's
any
like,
kind of sexual
well, there's
thing,
only
anything.
been like 48 employees that have ever held that role, so we're gonna have to make some phone calls, and then it's just like, did you
They're
do
just,
an
like,
AMA
going through-
with this name on this day?
They're going through every employee in their book.
Why not,
Yeah.
dude? Disney's got lawyers. They
Well,
got time.
Disney does have lawyers, and you know what else they have is money and time because they're
So-
not going nowhere.
They're not. They
At the same
just bought
time, if
Star
you're
Wars
some
and
dummy that posts a random story about like fucking at work or something like that, and you post your company's name, you're getting fired because they're going to find out. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
I just think that Disney, because you've got just basically 2 work sites, it's really obvious who you are if you
Yeah.
post that kind of stuff up there. So if they search it, I mean, everybody's going to know who the hell you are. So it's not going to come out that much because
I'm trying to
it's
think like
just so
how many
risky.
international Disneylands are there now though? Because you could be like Euro Disney or Japanese.
6 maybe. I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea.
my wording specifically was I was Mickey Mouse and did this, so like it could have been anybody in the past, right?
True.
Right. So just like
It could be a
whoops,
60-year-old man. Ugh.
Yeah, there's some 94-year-olds
Sure.
doing AMAs, so it could be like one of the early ones.
Are you saying that it can't? Okay, so let me get this straight. Nathan seems on board, but for some reason, Panic Knife seems against the idea that 94-year-old men can't talk about fucking other people in a Mickey
No,
Mouse suit.
they can. They clearly are. I
That
never
is
hate on
ageism,
anybody.
sir, and we do not accept that on this podcast. Go back to lineofdudes.com if you want that sort of bullshit. And speaking
Clearly.
of which, I want to listen to a little bit about what you have to say about MagFest, because you went to MagFest, I didn't, and I spent the whole weekend avoiding Twitter, because every time I saw anybody saying, oh, I had so much fun at MagFest, I kind of wanted to slit their fucking throat, because I was
Yeah,
supposed
you
to
were
be there, but it
close
didn't
to
happen.
coming, right? I mean, you were almost about to come out here, I thought.
Do you know how much it is for me to fly there and back? It's ridiculous. At the
Ridiculous
cheapest,
amount,
it's
yeah.
at least 800 to 900. At the most expensive, it's about 1800.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we always make mistakes when we do MagFest. Last year, our mistake was we just played too many games, and we had fun with John and everything. Proton John, we played a bunch of like.
That's
we did
Proton John
tournaments and stuff
essay
like
on
that.
YouTube.
Yeah, he's a beast. We did like a bunch of tournaments and stuff like that. And last year we focused on filming because we were really focusing on the YouTube channel then. The Awful Gamer HD, YouTube.com/The Awful Gamer HD. We barely do any videos anymore.
Shit's coming
Right.
back out for it,
It
though.
is, though.
I saw a
It
video yesterday and a video today, so
I know,
you guys are
right?
back on.
Yeah, baby. But anyway, like last year we really focused on recording. This year we focused on drinking. So, I mean, we definitely fucked up both years. This way in a different year than a different way than last year. This year's big addition though was Mac Prom, which was the funniest thing of all time. I mean, here's the thing: you've got a bunch of people that go to conventions. I mean, your typical convention goer. This is a stereotype, but I would say that your typical convention goer wasn't extremely popular in high school. I mean, is that fair to say? Fairly fair, reasonably fair. I wouldn't say 100% categorization.
Okay,
but I mean,
I'm gonna say sure, and the reason for that is because what draws a lot of attention to a convention. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it makes me sound like a badass rapper,
like
so
it.
that's okay. But
I like
anyways, a lot of reason why people would consider that is because they finally found a like-minded group of people that share the same interests where they can be themselves. And if you grew up comfortable with who you are, sort of thing, like primarily, or like didn't have or had like a good group of friends now, you wouldn't necessarily need to go to a convention to feel that way.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
that's the big draw of it.
Absolutely. So the Mag Prom thing was probably it was the new event. I mean, every year they have these tons of concerts with video game bands or bands playing video game music and stuff like that, which tends to be really fun and a lot, and it's really cool. We heard a couple of them. They have a lot of conventions, or not conventions. Wow, seriously, this beer was good. They have a lot of panels with just random video game topics, which are really cool. But the Mag Prom was the new event this year. So this year they did this thing. Basically, it's exactly what you'd think it would be. It's a lot of people that didn't get to go to prom that did what they thought was prom, which was running around and dancing in the way that they wanted to, which I thought was really cool. Like, I mean, it was completely exactly what you'd expect. but
cool.
I mean, it was, but it was, it was a bunch of people who didn't get to go to prom, hanging out with their friends and, doing the dancing thing, the really awkward people, just guys dancing with guys, which I mean, I'm as liberal as they come, so I thought it was pretty cool. Just all kinds of really crazy stuff going on where. But that being said, you had a bunch of people sitting on the side of the room, exactly what you would expect, like guys going to prom and that weren't the cool kid, that weren't the people who were outward and all that. It was kind of a funny like sociological experiment. We kind of both Eno and I both went there and kind of just crowd watch because both of us are married. We're not going to go up there and try to pick up chicks. But that being said, not like there were really anybody there because most of the chicks there had a boyfriend or a husband or something like that. So
see, I was just about to say that at conventions, from my experience, not that like I don't want to get too in depth, but it's like shooting fucking fish in a barrel.
Yeah,
it's the easiest thing to do. So
I don't know, man. There was we had stories that I didn't quite tell all the stories, and I still won't because I very nearly got in trouble with my wife.
We can talk after we're not live. That's okay.
It's pretty. It was funny, and needless to say that I left a drunk dial pocket dial message on my wife where I was bragging about something that wasn't nearly as bad as it sounds, but nonetheless it was it could have been a problem. But
got it. So you're an idiot. We got it.
Exactly. Okay. But the people going to Mag Prom, though, they're not a lot of single women that went there. But it was just funny because you look at all these guys that are like, they're probably thinking, I'm going to go to Mag Prom and I'm going to, find the woman of my dreams. And yet they're all just sitting on the side.
Oh, that's so sad. It's just like normal prom now.
Yeah, exactly. Mag Prom turned into normal prom. And then it's just. The sociological experiment of MagFest was just so much fun because you're just looking at all these guys that either you got all the cosplayers, that's a certain group. You've got the people who are just kind of going in there to play video games, which is cool. Then you've got the people who are going there for the scene but aren't like willing to fully commit to the bit, and you can kind of tell because they'd be wearing like a video game sweatshirt but not really. They kind of have their head down as they're walking through the place. The crowd watching was seriously the best part. But
yeah, for sure.
MagFest gets crazy after dark. I mean, people really just let it go. They would have like DJs going in the hallways, and Mag Prom was one thing, but like just the DJs in the hallway, you'd have what appear to be single people like hooking up and stuff like that. Not hooking up in the hallways, but I mean like dancing, grinding on each other, and not always ugly people. It was just random people. It was really an interesting experience, just because you got just a ton of different people. A ton of different kinds of people and all getting together over love of games. I'd never thought I would be really into conventions, but MagFest being local kind of got me into the whole scene, and it's pretty neat. It was a lot of fun.
It's definitely a good time. And did you, like, just you speaking personally, did you feel that like almost withdrawal where it's just like, I had such a great time here and now I have to go back to my real life sort of?
Well, first of all, I had the hangover. I mean, we had, as we talked about on the episode that came out on Thursday at WandaDudes.com. That's like 5 plugs. I'm awesome. On the episode we talked about on Thursday, we drank so much on Saturday night, and it was Eno's fault. He was a jerk. But
sure,
I had a hangover throughout Saturday, Sunday, because I'm old, so I get the 2-day hangover thing. So by the time Monday rolled around and life was back to normal, because we had done the whole weekend thing, you leave that place and you're like, well, this is a whole community that's doing the same shit that you're into. but now I'm back to real life, and real life sucks, man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about conventions that it's just nice. Like, speaking about the like-minded people and blah blah blah, it's nice to be at a convention with like a couple, like maybe like 50 to 70,000 other people. I'm speaking about PAX primarily right now, whereas like you're waiting in line for something and you can literally just like tap the dude in front of you on the shoulder and just start talking about goddamn anything you want, and that dude knows exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
It is kind of intoxicating. Like after the first couple, I was kind of just like, we should just found a city. We should just go and like all these people should just build a new place, and then there could be PAX all the time. I was getting
There has
crazy
been-
about it.
I don't,
But-
Nathan, like this is getting kind of
True though.
maybe too far into something that might not happen.
What?
Like, Calgary, we're trying to see if we can start a thing here, hey, besides like the Calgary Expo thing.
What do you mean, like an indie fest or like a?
I know, no, like a video game thing. Like, I know John's been talking to a lot of people about it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
That
Like
would be
a-
kind of cool.
Oh, like a convention for here. You're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
like one that doesn't turn you away from the door even though you have a ticket because they oversold.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm calling them out again. Fuck them. They have
Yeah.
the worst planners I've ever seen. I don't know how you sell like 20 to 30,000 tickets and realize after, like the day of, that, oh, we can only get like 15,000 in here. We're fucked.
It happens every time. It happens every
This is a
time.
violation of fire marshal stuff. We're
Mhm.
breaking the law. Yeah. No, that
It was
that's
actually
my
bad
problem.
too. It was shoulder to shoulder everywhere. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know. That is just
They've definitely, like, going to the last one, they've definitely taken that into serious consideration to the point where like there are traffic guiding people everywhere and like, no, you can't go this way. Like, you need to go this way to like navigate, like, you know, put the traffic in certain areas and whatever to
Well, I mean,
relieve congestion.
I
but
was
it's-
turned away, and I put out an inflammatory blog post about it that got retweeted and reblogged on Facebook by a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like, I had the convention like creators or whatever messaging me about it, and that's what got us a lot of listeners actually. And like ever since that day,
Marketing.
I haven't been back because I didn't go last year and I didn't go the day after.
Mhm.
So ever since then, I can't be like, yeah, they're doing a good job now. So like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, it was
I-
definitely a problematic thing. They grew really fast and handled it poorly.
They grew really fast, and that's fine, but they need more stuff for people to do. You are paying money right now to pay money for autographs or to buy shit at exhibition lane there, which is really fucking annoying. Like, if I'm going to be paying admission fee, you should at least throw more panels in than like maybe
They're to be
hour.
fair, they had a pretty dense panel lineup this year as well. However,
Good.
the big stuff was full like way in advance. Like, it was kind
Oh,
of that
for sure.
Comic-Con thing of like people waiting there all day. So it's just like, I'm going to go to the first panel and then just stay in there. And then I'm going to see Walking Dead and Game of Thrones and all these big things. And then it's just like the casual people are just kind of like, yeah, I'll go see what Peter Dinklage is doing. And it's just like, no, you can't. This is
we can't handle that amount of people either. Like, for
Our
people that
convention
don't know,
center is kind of problematic. Yeah.
we're getting very specific here, but the Calgary Convention Center can maybe hold 10 to 15,000 people, like maximum.
Throughout the
So
whole thing.
throughout the whole thing, that's both
Right.
halls and like all the different hallways connecting them and all the little rooms and stuff. It is really
Wait, so
small.
so when they're reporting numbers of like 55,000, like that's over the 3 days, and that's
Oh,
just
for sure.
admission or something.
For
like, that's
sure,
like
of course,
I and
that's
3 people.
that's ticket sales in general. They want to find the biggest number, and they're just like, we sold this amount, and these people from Vancouver can't come, but they still count. They are part of this number.
Right.
There's no way you can get 55,000 people in there for 3 days. That is insane. That is PAX numbers right there. I don't know if you remember, but PAX itself last year or whatever, when we went, was like 75 or 80,000, and that was packed. And that thing was like 5 levels high. That is an American city that's built for a large amount of people to do this
Yeah.
thing.
And they're taking
there's-
over more and more buildings every year.
There
and
is
that
no
like
way-
half- like
It has
at
to be so much
capacity.
bigger though if it wasn't for the fact that it was so expensive. So I mean, there's that too. You have to keep that in mind. So your convention might be similarly sized, but the reason
I
is because
don't
of that.
necessarily agree with you because PAX
Fair
would
enough.
be so much bigger if they didn't cut it off at some point. There are so many people that are like, "Oh, I missed tickets
I guess
for PAX." They
there's
sell
more-
out in like 20 minutes.
No, that's really the thing now is the speed. Like our convention sold out last year for the first time. Like it hit capacity, and they've also been hiking the prices more and more. Like we're at like
Yeah.
$80 for a 3-day pass.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay,
that's
wow, damn.
ridiculous.
yeah.
Magfest was $80 for 4 days. So yeah, I mean that makes sense.
I mean,
That-
I'll
that's
still
good
go.
deal,
Like
though.
I still enjoy it as an event, and it being local, like that is a huge like plus. Like it's like I don't need to. Like I can go home and just eat a steak or something. Like I could just go relax
Yeah.
after, and then go back the next day. And yeah, that kind of changes the whole thing. Whereas
Well-
like PAX is its own headache of travel and hotels and everything.
Speaking
But,
from my experience at Magfest, I mean the whole idea of going home and eating a steak is a huge deal because
It is.
dude, it is so expensive to go to these conventions. I think anywhere, but especially Magfest, because I mean it's right maybe five minutes from DC. If you cross the bridge and go, you can go straight into DC. National Harbor is so freaking expensive. You go to this place downstairs in the convention center in the Gaylord, and you know you can get a bucket of beer, 6 beers for $30. So we did that last year. We got so many of those buckets of beers for $30, and these aren't like craft beers or anything like that. But everything in that entire area, I mean, you're not going to go home from going one person for dinner for like $50.
Jeez.
So I mean, yeah. So that's pretty much I think a convention thing. Probably I haven't been to any other conventions, granted, but I'd imagine E3 and PAX and that sort of thing are probably a lot of the same thing. I think a lot of the places around convention centers are just really expensive.
For sure. Like a bottle of water is disgusting. But anyways, I gotta say the really, really nice thing after like you've spent enough time at a convention is being able to go to your own house, make your own
my
food,
God,
and then
it's
go
great.
in your own bed.
The best.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
like
no, absolutely.
in another regard, the times we've gone to PAX or whatever, I don't know how it was for you, Nathan, is that when you're in a different city, you don't care if you're out all night. Like the hotel room is literally there for when your body shuts down.
Exactly.
But like you don't care about rest. You're just like, no, I'm gonna go do this, then I'm gonna go do this, and then maybe I'll get 2 hours of sleep before I have to get up and shower, and then I'm gonna go to the thing again, and we're gonna do it again. So it's a whole different feel when you're in a different city. When you're doing it in the same city you're in, you can kind of be like, I think I'm done for today at like 6 or 7, and then you're like, yeah, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm gonna make myself a meal, talk to some people, and then go to bed. But when you're in a different city, you're like, no, it's fucking drinking hour. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? It's only midnight.
I guess
Drinking
that's
hour.
kind of just a difference in how it goes. Like with the Calgary convention, it shuts down at like 6 or 7. Like there's nothing to do. Whereas PAX, they try to cater to like, all right, now the concerts start up and there's like these weird side events and like there's some tournaments going on. Like you can still hang out at the convention center until like 1 or 2 in the morning. Although they did change that this year. It was midnight because
Really?
there's 4 days now. So they're kind of pulling it back a little bit on day to day. So it doesn't quite
They actually
go.
shut it down.
Yeah, at midnight, it's like this building
Ow.
is closed. Please go away.
Magfest is
think.
open all night, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is-
yeah, like the tweak to 4 days, I don't think I like it. Like it's kind of stretching it a little thinner than I'd
It's
like.
too much.
Too much, maybe. I don't know. This was the one that kind of fatigued me, and I don't know. There's probably a number of factors on that.
I
but-
will say the times I've gone to PAX, Sunday after the hall closes at 6,
Yeah,
I am ready to go. I'm done.
Like, you're just
I've had
done.
enough PAX. I feel a little shitty that I have to leave because I've had such a great time, but at the same time, I'm ready to go home, back to my normal life, and sleep.
And now it's just like there's one whole more day, and you're just like, okay, I guess I'll buy that thing I was thinking about, and I guess there's one panel I kind of wanted to see. I guess like yeah, it was really weird. Like that last day was kind of listless. Like you just get to kind of hang out there more. But
Well, with and again, speaking solely from my my Magfest experience, everybody pretty much left Magfest at noon on Sunday. I mean, I think that's pretty much standard. That last day, you're pretty much done. I mean, because you had 3 days of, for lack of a better term, partying.
Like hard
So,
partying.
Yeah,
And now
it's
it's
done.
like-
You know,
Say goodbye to everybody and eat lunch
Exactly.
or something. Head out. Okay.
exactly.
I haven't had the opportunity yet. This Magfest was going to be it, but I haven't had the opportunity to go to a convention where I met a whole bunch of like people that I've become friends with on Twitter through different various like YouTube or podcast things. And that is something I would like to do. PAX will not be that thing because a lot of people either can't afford it or they didn't wait around in line for 20 minutes to be able to maybe get a ticket.
Right.
So I have to find something that like, oh yeah, this is only this much. So if you spend maybe like $1,000, including your hotel and stuff, you're probably good. Where a bunch of us can meet up, sort of thing. I would love to meet a lot of the people that come into the chat room and talk, or talk to me on Twitter, or like leave comments on videos or whatever. I would love to meet those people, but PAX is not the way to do it. And unfortunately, PAX is the only thing I usually have money set aside for every year because it's the thing I know. It's the convention that's like, I feel comfortable putting money towards this because I know what I'm expecting and I know it's
Right.
going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, it was kind of cool. We got to meet a guy that I think probably comes into some of your chats. If not, I know you've talked to him, Hebrew Lantern.
Yeah, David,
That was-
of course.
David, yeah, we talked to him. We hung out with him the entire weekend. It was kind of a neat experience. Like you're right. If you go into these conventions and you meet a lot of people that you had never met in person before, and get drunk with them, have fun with them, it's totally different experience. Last year we hung out with John. That was about it. And
But at that time, you hadn't met him in person
but
either, so that works for you too.
That was cool. Yeah, and we oh my god, we hung out with him. I can't talk. And we had dinner with him a couple times. We had him over at Eno's place. He came over and all that stuff. And then Mike, met the Runaway Guys and stuff like that. I actually had to go to work that day, but yeah, I mean that's one thing. But we actually this year we met a couple people that actually knew who we were, which is kind of neat. We met a bunch of people that hung out with John, and we hung out with David a lot, and it was a totally different experience. I mean, that you have to do something like that at some point.
I've said this before, and I think it bears repeating maybe to people. Like, I don't think anybody had heard it because I think I was saying this to but like, I've known Hebrew Lantern or David or whatever you want to call him for a long time, and I've talked to him for a while. And every time we talked on Skype or something that was kind of a little more personal, totally great guy, like great fucking dude. Every time
definitely.
I read stuff that he says on Twitter, I just want to unfollow him.
Yeah,
Every time.
I don't know what that is. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That is
It's
weird. Not the dude that I know,
No,
because every
not at
time we
all.
talk on Skype, he's like the nicest and greatest guy. Every time he's on Twitter, he says stuff that either annoys me or he just has like maybe the sarcastic like wording that just makes me just want to unfollow him and never talk to him again. I don't know what it is, but that dude
The weirdest
should not be
thing.
on Twitter, and he should just be in person for everybody because he's a great guy otherwise.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't know if I should feel bad for saying that. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break while I get another drink and use a bathroom. When we come back, we'll have voicemails and chat questions and stuff like that. So if you have questions in the chat, go ahead and post them right now. I will grab them when I come back. Otherwise, we will see you guys in a couple of minutes.
Do we have break music or no? Oh, he's gone. He's disappeared. Okay, I'm gonna go for break then.
Okay, and we're back from break. So we got a few questions from the chat. We'll go ahead and just jump right in, I think. I don't think there's anything more to talk about, unless Panic Knife, you have anything you want to talk about.
No, I've never have anything to talk about. What are you talking about?
Oh, dude,
Fair enough.
NES Remix is a game that I played.
Okay, let's go ahead.
So-
NES Remix. Let's go.
It's just I haven't been using my Wii U a lot until just recently, so it's like
I can't
kinda
blame you.
noteworthy. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, are there any games for it at this point except for Mario 3D?
Zombie U.
It's
Zombie
so
U.
disappointing. It was so disappointing because you looked at that console and it was really good. You know, I mean, the specs were good compared to the Wii. It was a good console, good concept, and they did nothing with it.
Well, it's like Dark Soulsy. It's okay. I beat
Yeah.
it once. I don't know.
I love Dark Souls. Best series
Of course.
ever. Probably
Great
not.
series.
Yeah, it is really good. I love it, but it's probably not the best. Sorry, NES remix. Go ahead.
Sorry.
All right. I don't. It's just kind of chopping up a bunch of weird old NES games into like just individual challenges.
Great, 10 out of 10.
Well, it's just I'm getting introduced to a lot of games I never played from that era. Like Wrecking Crew is kind of the standout.
What
I
about Super Mario Brothers?
Bros.
Super Mario Brothers is in there. So
Brothers?
that's what
Brothers.
you were saying, right?
Brothers.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers.
Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 3 briefly is also in there.
Donkey Kong
Golf,
Jr. Okay.
Excite Bike, all that kind of stuff. So if you have like any NES nostalgia, this is kind of a weird way to see those games kind of presented to you in a weird way. So it's just like, all right, like do this one very specific thing that you wouldn't normally do, or it'll like zoom out as you're playing balloon fight, so like you go off the left side of the screen and then you see yourself come back, but now that's like zoomed out, so there's like 40 different dudes and it's really weird, kind of trippy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like it's mildly interesting, but it's been kind of a great background thing. Like it's like you put on a podcast and you can play that game because it is just straight platforming challenges or Excite Bike challenges, like that kind of thing.
It's like challenge based though, right?
Yeah, it's just collect 20 coins, and you're just like, okay. But the entire stage is covered with ice, and go. And then you're just like, okay, and then you're running to the right in Mario trying to collect 20 coins, and there's like a time limit. And you get a number of stars depending how well or how quickly you did that thing.
Okay,
So
that's pretty cool.
it's all right.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat to see them kind of go back to their weird old catalog and tinker with it in a couple ways. So
Sure.
yeah, just thought I'd bring it up. I also been playing Max Payne 3, but it's old. It's just old.
I think we've discussed it.
Not to go crazy about the MagFest thing, but there's one of the biggest features of MagFest is that they have challenge booths. So they have like consoles that you sit down, and it's all emulated. But they sit you down on the consoles, and you get to do like a bunch of challenges from old school like NES and Atari type games, and that's like the biggest hit of those things.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
So
this
it's sort
is
of the
like
same idea.
a collection of a bunch of that kind of thing. And then there's like remix challenges where you're playing like 7 or 8 different weird challenges in a row. And you have like
Nice.
3 or 6 tries to kind of get that right. And I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I'm kind of finding it pretty endearing. So yeah.
Nice.
Nintendo nostalgia. They did it
What
again.
system is it for? Is it like an emulated thing?
No, it is a Wii U eShop game.
Oh, Wii U. You just said that. Sorry.
Yeah, so it is from Nintendo. And I guess it was getting compared to like, it's just kind of like they ginned up their own cheap ROM hacks or something. But it's just like,
Right.
having never played those, like I can't really speak to if this is old hat at this point. But it's kind of neat. I thought it was kind of cool.
Sure.
Like it's like,
Pretty awesome,
hey,
actually.
you're Link, go get the thing, go get the ring. It's in this cave. And you're just like, okay. So then you run in there and get the ring. And then it's like, all right, now find the place where the ring is in this one. And then you light the bush on fire. And then you go down there and then you grab the ring. Like just, weird challenges. So I guess also Zelda is a game. But not Zelda 2. I haven't found it yet. So missed opportunity.
Best
No.
Zelda game in the series.
Yeah, it's
Think?
good. It's pretty
I
good.
know a lot of people say that, but I don't know.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
of that opinion, but that's fine.
I mean,
I never played it that much. Like it was too much of a departure when I was a kid. I never could like get past the fact that it was so different than the others. That's probably
Yeah,
another story.
side-scrolling.
Whatever.
It's like RPG and stuff.
RPG. Gotta
Great.
level up. Gotta level up that health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to bring up some weird game stuff. So.
Well, I'm glad you did, because it lets me know a little bit more about who you are as an
Yeah.
individual.
I'm kind of into Wrecking Crew.
What the fuck does that mean?
You know what?
get to
I don't
see
even
your
know.
soul.
I can see your soul through what you played.
Oh, I loaded
I
up
don't-
DayZ today too, but I don't
Oh,
know.
really? The new the standalone?
The standalone. Nothing happened really. Like it was just like I am lost. I need water. I searched 3 houses and then zombies killed me. And I was like, okay.
Why do you people never respond to me? I asked like a whole bunch of people saying, did you get DayZ? Because I'm not going to buy that game if I don't know that a few friends are at least playing it. And
Oh, dude,
nobody
I didn't
answered
bu-
me.
I didn't buy it either. Like I put it on my wish list because I was like, well, all right, I've been hearing enough about this. Like I played the mod like some time ago, but not very much.
Yeah.
And then I noticed John already had it, and he's one of my Steam family library people. So I was just like, oh,
He
sweet.
is part of your family. We know this, yes.
Yeah, so I installed it and tried it out a little bit.
I think Brother John is what you refer to him by
Yeah,
and
exactly.
everything.
That's the
Yeah.
we're pretty
Sup,
close.
bro.
Starbound.
It's not-
too. He
It's
also
not
has that.
ironic because you're brothers.
Yeah.
You look
Like that
exactly alike, too.
Tale of Two Sons, brothers. That's what
Nice.
it was about us.
Game of the year.
No, it wasn't.
According to Total Biscuit, he would have to disagree.
That guy, really? He gave it the best game?
We've discussed this, and yes, it's probably the one slip up that I've been like, oh, this dude doesn't even know what he's talking about right now.
All right.
Lord.
Let's move on to questions.
Let's move on to questions. Okay, we're going to start, as usual, from questions from the chat. If you weren't here, I kind of don't blame you because it's like almost 3 o'clock for a lot of people on
Yeah.
the eastern side. But we did this late. It's after dark. We're drinking. It's been
Blame
weird.
Spike Jones. It's his fault. He had
I
to
do-
wait 5 years to put out
Spike
that movie.
Oh, dude, I blame him for every problem in my life. But anyways, if you were here, you could ask questions in the chat. As always, you can go to pixel-response.com. Go to voicemails on the side. You can leave a voicemail. We'll listen to those in a little bit. But however, Foxy the Kid asks, favorite mix drink? And I think
Ooh.
I've described mine. It's the Diet Pepsi with the vanilla vodka.
I was really impressed by that Burt Reynolds I had.
Sure.
Like,
Okay.
That made an impression. But for stuff we've had around here, I guess like White Russians.
It's a good
White
classic.
Russians are great.
Yeah.
Also,
Classic.
paralyzers are great.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you guys into shooters at all? Like shots that you go into a bar
Sure.
and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get one of those." So we always go to bars and we get liquid cocaine. Have you ever had that?
No.
What is it?
Okay, so it's 151. It's Rumplemints and shit. I think Jaeger as well.
Okay,
And it
Rumplemints
actually-
and shit. You heard it here
Yeah.
first. That's Panic Knife's drink of choice.
No,
So
no,
next time you
actually,
see him,
what I was saying
put some
is- what I was saying
alcohol
is-
on your shit.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I don't think that that's my favorite one, but that's kind of a drink of note. We every time we go out and do shots, we do that sort of thing. But if I'm just going out to get a regular mixed drink, I'm a classic Long Island iced tea guy, and because those will get you fucked up really quickly and actually don't
Sure.
taste bad. You don't know that you're getting fucked up when you're drinking those.
I don't remember. I think I've had one of those once at like a wedding or something.
I mean,
But-
get paired if you're ever counting calories, you're going to drink 500 calories in that one drink, but it's really fucking good.
Wow.
It's just
Wow.
it's like it tastes legitimately like an iced tea with the lemon. Wow, with lemon,
Lemon,
in
yeah.
it. But is that the fruit I'm talking about? Yeah, it tastes like iced tea with lemon in it, but it's got gin, rum, vodka, everything in it. It might not even have half of those things, but it has a lot of
Okay.
a lot of liquor in it, and you taste you feel it after like one or two. And
okay.
they're really good.
Jack and Coke is something I used to enjoy before
Classic.
I was banned from drinking Jack because it makes me get fighty.
Paul, you and I
right.
would get along really well when we're drinking. I love to go and be like, you do the little fighter's hop. You're like, yeah, I can fight somebody. And it's like, I'm not actually angry. I just want to fight a little bit.
Like, maybe. I think I just get angry. So
Okay, fair
there's,
enough.
there's
yeah, that's
that.
a little different.
like,
I'll fight you when you're drunk. It's
What-
cool.
when I drink Jack, like, not only do I want to, like, physically do something, I also want to emotionally destroy everybody I've known.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I'm just going to say punchy.
Gee,
Like,
fair enough.
physically. Screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are great. Anything?
Screwdrivers with what, orange juice and vodka?
Yeah, those are great. That's a good morning drink right there. If you want a good morning, you have to have a screwdriver, probably.
You know, a big Bloody Mary guy.
Long
Think about
Island
them.
iced teas are really good.
I love them. Big
They're
fan.
really good. What
You ever
else?
had a blue motorcycle, by the way? Speaking of Long Island iced teas,
I don't think so. I don't know what that is.
it's basically a Long Island with blue Curacao in it.
Okay, I've never had
Pretty good.
that. I bet it's delicious though.
Pretty good, yeah.
I mean, Jaeger with anything is a good mixed drink because Jaeger by itself is kind of garbage, but it's made to be like Jaeger bombs are okay if you just want to get destroyed. Jaeger with energy drinks is great if you want to get drunk and never sleep again.
Ever.
Um,
What do you gentlemen think about dropped drinks, like dropping a shot into a drink and slamming
They're
it?
fan-fucking-tastic. They're great. However, you have to maybe have a few drinks before so you don't like puke automatically from the just terrible shit you're putting into your body.
Nathan,
I
what
don't
about
know
you?
if
What do
I've
you think?
really. I don't think I've done that. So
Really? You see, you've never had like a car bomb or anything like that?
We're just
I
like
don't think
throw
so.
a shot. Like it's the
I know
most
what
Shot
happens.
into a beer.
it's
Yeah.
the most like disgusting basic things you could do with drinking where you're just like, oh, this alcohol is not enough. I'm gonna fucking throw it in another glass right now and I'm gonna drink all that shit because I'm a man. Like
Has
it's
anybody
the
that's
dumbest
ever
shit.
has anybody that's ever done one of those drinks not ended up by saying, like, just cursing afterwards, been like, fuck, that was awful.
Or not ended up not being able to walk. I don't think
Of
that's
course.
possible.
Of course.
Okay, I think we've answered that question. So I know the person that asked it was underage, but if you can, you should probably try all those drinks in one night and let us know how it feels. Paul at pixel-response.com. Go ahead, drink
Pickle
all
response.
of that, and when your parents kill you, let us know how it went. Anyways, he asked the next question. Favorite movie quote?
What? Favorite movie quote? Call it, friendo. There you go.
Ah, nice. Good choice.
Get off my plane.
That's
I mean,
a good one.
That's
That's
a
not
really
bad.
good one. That's a really, really good one. Air Force One, man.
That
There's
movie. That's a
that's a
secret
great
Die
movie.
Hard sequel. It's so good.
that
Anyway.
is pretty amazing.
President
yeah.
John McClane. Anyway,
President John McClane.
that's basically what's going on.
I
It's
know.
amazing.
Like if you took Die Hard 2 and then instead of putting him on the ground, you put him in the plane, that's
Yeah.
exactly what would happen.
That's fucking funny. I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. I'm gonna go with any number of quotes from The Departed. That's just because that right now is like my favorite movie. Just because I go in phases. I'll go any random Tarantino movie one time, and then I'll go Departed for about 2 months. Right now, I'd say the dialogue between. See, but can you really do dialogue as your favorite movie quote?
Yeah, I guess. so.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
an exchange. Like you could be like, the Royale with cheese conversation, and then you're just like, oh yeah,
Yeah, with
Tarantino.
cheese.
There you go, and it's just back and forth.
Yeah, so I would say that the conversation where in The Departed, where Mark Wahlberg is talking to Alec Baldwin in the beginning of the movie, where where he says, I'm tired from, or how's your mother tired from fucking your father?
Yeah.
Seriously, every time I listen to that quote is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I just die laughing and then I
Just
drink.
them razzing each other. Like
Exactly.
drunk. Yeah.
Oh, I got the quote.
Okay.
Dude, I almost had you. Rest in peace, Paul Walker.
R.I.P. Just pouring one out right now.
R.I.P. Pour one out. Paul Walker is dead. He died in the way he lived, fast and furiously. Let's move
Yes,
on to the
sir.
How
next
did that
question.
come up? What are you
Yes,
doing?
sir. He's drunk. It's okay.
Okay.
Next question by Foxy the Kid as well. Feelings on Community Season 5, which I have not watched, so go ahead, Nathan. I will go ahead and mix myself another drink while you talk.
Okay. I've only seen 2 of the episodes so far, but I generally like them. They at least seem to have like a clear idea of what they're going to do with the season. Like Jeff is now a teacher, and that kind of changes the dynamic a bit, and they came up with a decent reason for that to be the case, and it's pretty funny. I will say, however, like I was pitched on one episode, I was like, dude, they finally did the Nicolas Cage class plot line. And it was like, oh, sweet. It is
Wow.
like such a B story that I was
Okay.
really disappointed. I was like, okay, if you're gonna like bring Cage into this, it needs to be like the whole thing. Like this needs to be the whole episode. You can't just be like, and we mentioned Nick Cage a couple times over here. It's like, no, that's disrespectful. The man's legacy is important enough to command more attention. Let's trim some of this other stuff, put more Nick Cage focus. So they kind of bothered me on that front. Didn't quite do it, but. Yeah, Abed goes to a class and he's trying to figure out whether or not. Well, I guess actually that's part of the thing. Like that's maybe the thing that immediately put me off. The name of the class is Nicolas Cage, good or bad. That's just offensive. Like that's just what are you talking about? That's not. There's no question. Like what?
Whoa. Do either of you know this Nostalgia Critic or that guy with the glasses.com or Channel Awesome or any of that stuff?
No.
Heard of Channel Awesome.
Okay, this month is Nostalgia Critic's Nicolas Cage month, and he started with Face Off.
Nice.
And that made me remember how great that movie is.
What a movie. What a movie.
Incredibly entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like a
everybody
future
should
jail.
go. Everybody needs to go watch that. Go ahead and comment on the video and say Pixel Response brought me here, so Doug Walker contacts us and we could have an interview or something. Because
Nathan, by the
if
way,
that
put it
dude,
completely right. It's very entertaining. I wouldn't call it a good movie, but very, very entertaining.
That's
No,
what
no,
he
no.
does
See-
best, though. Like that,
Yeah.
he's an entertainer, so he'll
Yeah.
make bad movies watchable. So I think he is good. A lot of his films aren't, but he does his best. And I don't
that's
know.
not his
just-
fault though. He doesn't write the films he's in. He's just
no,
like,
he's just
I
like,
need
I'm
money
gonna be
for
in
my
Amos
fossils.
and Andrew, and it is awful. But every now and then, I'm gonna kind of
Put
wink and
the
you'll
bunny down. That's all I have to say to that.
know. On air.
What a
Actually,
movie.
that
That
was
is-
the thing. I found an old blog post I wrote like 6 or 7 years ago where like my personal opinion of Nick Cage started to turn. Like in it, it's like, I didn't really like Con Air or The Rock very much, so I don't know. But I watched this movie, Bringing Out the Dead, and he's okay. And it's like, wow, all right. Like years later, I would revisit both of those movies and discover
How do you
the
not like
magic.
The Rock.
I
How do you
know.
not like Con Air? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Like Kid Nathan, who watched that on A Channel one night, is jerk. That guy sucks, but
Yeah.
he's gone now. So don't worry about that guy. He's finished.
That guy's
Anyways,
no problem.
Nicolas Cage month, go youtube.com/ I think it's League of Super Critics is their channel, which is like the worst name ever. But anyways, Pixel Response brought me here. You have to go comment now. I would love to talk to that guy because if he's doing a full month of videos based on Nicolas Cage movies, that is a dude that needs to be talking to us while we're drunk.
I agree. That
Okay.
sounds good.
Anyways,
He's gonna watch Zandalee. I fell asleep watching that. So
next question from Foxy the Kid as well. No, I'm stupid. That's the same question. First question from Meowth in the chat. We will hear from her later. Paul, how hard do you like your drinks? So hard, bro. How hard do you like your drinks?
like a beer, so not very.
Well, it depends. You are drinking Canadian beer, which is better than that pussy ass American beer.
Oh, that's just hateful.
It is kind
I
of
don't know.
painful, especially since you said your beer you're drinking right now is actually pretty hard.
Yeah.
So that's not even like a thing. That's
I know it's like that is harder than my beer. I think mine was like 5%. It's like regular.
Well, 5% is like the lowest we go, unless you go non-alcoholic, and then
True.
what? In that case, it's like, why are you drinking beer?
Yes,
We have
there's,
like some 3.5% swill down here, but we also have I feel like American beer has gotten a bad rap because there's a lot more microbrews now than there used to be. So there's a lot, there's a huge variety down here, even though your watery domestic beers are just terrible. I think the average German domestic beer, what you'd consider their Budweiser is probably a lot better than, for example, Miller Lite or Coors or Natty
Sure.
Light or something like that. But
Of course.
there's so many microbrews, especially in this region that I live in the Washington D.C. region. That is, they're just outstanding. So I would fight you, sir, over your categorization of American beer.
Why don't I have a better idea? If we're in the position where we're going to fight, let's just buy each other a beer and have a good time.
I think that sounds great.
Yeah, there you go. There's a place here called Brewster's, and they make their own beer. I'm just going to say never drink a bunch of beer that has berries in it because that is the worst combination. Like, you think it's going to be a good idea. It's like, oh, I'm going to get drunk and it's going to taste like berry something. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
like
what happens.
raspberries. That
No,
sounds
let me
great.
tell you. Let me tell you what happens.
Tastes
You spend.
so good coming out.
Let me tell you what happens is that those little chunks go into your fucking mouth and then go through your throat into your stomach. And then when they come back out, they are disgusting because you not only drank one blueberry beer, you drank maybe $100 worth. I think that was the total at the end of the night. And at the end of the night, when you're drinking that many blueberries and raspberries and your alcohol, it doesn't taste so fucking good coming back out.
Yeah, that's bad times.
Oh.
That's bad times.
It's gross. You can feel the little chunks of berries and stuff that haven't been digested because they've been preserved, and the alcohol in your stomach come back out, and you want to puke more just from the idea of it. So don't ever do that. Go ahead and make yourself like something with strong alcohol and maybe a mix that you can handle, and just drink that for the rest of the night. Don't ever get berry beer. That's the worst idea you could ever have, and that's coming from experience.
Is anybody
That's-
really
we have, like,
craving
a
some
berry
berry
beer.
soup right now?
Like you're just kicking back, watching some Mad Men, and you have a berry beer. Is that great?
That's probably fine if you're not paying $100 worth of beer. Like, I don't know how much beer costs everywhere else. Let me paint a picture for you. That's about 10 to 15 beers with berries in it.
Sure.
That's a lot of berries coming back out your throat.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So-
gross.
What do you fine gentlemen, think about cider?
Like a Strongbow or something.
Yeah, there's a big trend in the States here. Cider's getting a big push. Strongbow is one of them. There's a lot of also smaller breweries domestically that are brewing new ciders. They're like hard cider. So it'll be either apple or whatever other fruit cider it's kind of like a trend here.
Huh. I wonder
I
if
don't-
My Little
that's-
Pony has something to do with it.
That is
Bring
not
it back.
that is not a trend up here, but it
No.
sounds like it might be delicious.
It's pretty tasty. I don't think I could go out with a big group of dudes. We're going out after a manly night of manlying. But I think that if you're just going out and get one, I think it's not too bad. I like it.
Fair enough. Also, like somebody in the chat just said, Brewster's, like the Animal Crossing cafe. That reminds me. Remember the Lon Milk Bar or Milk Ranch or whatever in Zelda?
Yeah.
It's hilarious, right? Because that's totally alcohol. Like they talk about
really?
it like it's just alcoholic drinks, and I'm pretty sure it might have originally been like alcoholic, but then they're just like, no, kids are playing Zelda games and they don't know what this shit is. So like alcohol to children is basically milk. So when you see kids drinking milk, they're actually getting drunk.
It's just a liquid that makes the people hiccup.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, it's like
They
I'm
talk really
sleepy
weird.
because I drank too much milk.
Milk. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The way they treat it is a little weird.
I've
I
been
wonder if
drinking
that's
too
like,
much milk tonight, and now I want to punch someone in the face.
would that be like a vodka Draginsky thing? Like in Japan,
Sure.
it's just an ale, but over here it's like, all right, guys, we need to edit this a little bit. It's milk,
Probably.
not Link's taking a swig of beer in this dungeon and now he feels better. Can't have that.
Settled his stomach.
Yep.
Exactly. Anyways,
kid for both parts,
Next-
really. Anyway, okay.
next question is also from Meowth. This one is for Nathan.
Okay.
Nathan, what would be more probable? You watching 26 episodes of Attack on Titan or playing Pokemon Platinum? Would you do it?
I think probably. Well, Attack on Titan's available here apparently, where I am.
And
right
it's
now.
only 26 episodes. So if you
Right.
count the hours you're going to be spending, that's maybe 12 to 13 because they're like 20-minute episodes or whatever. As
I do
opposed
like
to
some
Pokemon,
20-minute
where
shows.
like Pokemon, you're going to be spending maybe like 60 hours to get the full experience.
if I get into it, like I guess.
Yeah, it
so.
might be 1 hour for all we know. For
Yeah, it's
both
just
of them.
like, wow, this is not what I want at all. But who knows? Does Pokemon Snap count? If I got that, could I play that?
No. I
Okay.
can't believe you would even suggest that. I am
Just saying.
disgusted.
Just floating that out. Maybe that counts.
I don't
Uh,
think it does. I don't know.
okay.
Let's let the chat decide. Does Pokemon Snap count? Go ahead and cast your votes right now. 1 if yes, 2 if no. We will tally the votes as soon as this is done. Next question from Flyzer97. Question. what do you know about the year of Persona, and are you hype? I know nothing about the year of Persona, but I am so hype.
Okay. There's a big slate of Persona games coming out. Persona Q, Persona 5. At least in Japan, I don't think most of these will be translated and over here until next year. So 2015 Year of Persona US edition. I guess I'm kind of hyped. I mean, I like that Catherine game. I liked Persona 4. So if they make another good one of those, I'd be into it. I think, what's the other one? There's like another fighting game coming out and a weird Vita dancing game. So yeah, get hyped. Persona's gonna get weird.
Panic Knife, what do you know about Persona? Are you hype?
I know what Persona is.
Sweet.
Okay.
Shimigami. Woo.
So you
That's all I know.
need to be schooled in the ways of weird RPGs that set place in weird times and settings. But you should
like
go
I said,
ahead
I
and
know
look
what
into
it
that.
is. That's about all I got.
It's usually
Okay.
contemporary, but yeah, Inaba.
That's a weird setting. Contemporary? Are you kidding me? It's not medieval? Fuck that.
I guess,
RPG,
yeah,
that's not
relative to most RPGs, it
That's
is
true.
kind of out there. So yeah, it's like a serial killer in a small town in Japan. What? That's not a game that exists.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, it
like
is.
I said,
Persona
it
4.
sounds. I know what it is. It sounds decent. I've never really gotten into it. I guess.
There are huge time commitments too. Like I got way into 4. It's like 100 hours save file in that thing.
Oh,
and that was
Jesus,
PS2 in like 2008.
I'm
playing.
hesitant to get into like Skyrim for that same reason.
Yeah, no, it's it's hefty. But
Also, the results are in for if Pokemon Snap counts, and only one person voted, but you are full of shit, Nathan. It doesn't count, so keep going. Keep trying.
okay.
Well, the millions and millions in the chat.
The
Many people
millions
voted.
and millions and
Yes.
millions. Actually,
Absolutely.
you know what? For this time at night, I'm surprised we have 4
Not bad.
people listening
Not
to
bad.
us right now. That's not too bad. So
Thanks for coming out, you guys.
you could have been
Absolutely.
here. Like, what the? If you're listening to this afterwards, you fucked up. You're the one on trial here, not us. It's not our problem that you can't find an hour and a half to 2 hours out of your busy schedule on a Friday fucking night to come visit us. What the hell is
Almost
wrong
3
with
hours,
you?
or over 3 hours now.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. You know what? You're probably in the right. I'm sorry. I love you all. Please, please keep downloading. We need you so
Yes.
bad.
Yes.
We have egos, people. You need to fill them. That's what you're here for. And also because we love you. Let's go on to voicemails, shall we? Yes? Voicemails?
Sure. Yeah, voicemail time.
Okay. It's not Meowth Hour, by the way.
What?
We have voicemails from 4 different people, and Meowth is only one of them.
Whoa.
Oh,
I know. So we're going to go ahead and start right now.
Just some ambiance music. Anyways, I saw Wolf on Wall Street during the weekend, and I thought it was pretty funny. Then again, it's probably because I wasn't really thinking too much when watching the movie about what happens in real life when you do all that crazy stuff that guy, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, did.
Mhm.
So, I guess that's why I enjoyed it, is because I didn't really think. So, maybe Nathan's too much of a critic and really hates things because he thinks too much about what could happen in real life when you try that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I mean, come on, Nathan. You gotta lighten up, dude. Just lighten up. Take some chill pills. Take some Pamprin, who knows? Maybe you'll get off your grumpy streak. Need some chill pills.
Nathan, how do you respond to that? You need to chill. Go ahead. Quote right now. 2014, Krasnor G. How do you feel that you need to chill?
If chill pills were real, I'd probably get a prescription. That's
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm way too fighty right now.
That would be a good thing. And yeah, I probably overthought that movie, but it just got under my skin. I don't know why. It was like Christmas Day, and I was just like, riled up.
7 out of 10. How do you feel about that score for The Wolf of Wall Street? Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, best film, keystone, if you will.
Yeah, I don't think I put a score on my thoughts really, so I don't know. It is entertaining at the very least. I definitely give it that. And for 3 hours, keeps your attention. So, sure. Okay.
You heard it
I
here first,
approve.
people. Krasnor G says sure. 2014.
I got you. It sounds fair. There you go.
Panic Knife, what do you feel about The Wolf of Wall
We
Street?
had a conversation about this after or before the podcast too. I think there's a lot of backlash. It's funny because this is the best like critically acclaimed movie that people universally hate that I've ever seen. I have not seen it yet. I plan on seeing it tomorrow actually. But
Okay.
I'm really excited to see it because I love Scorsese. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. So I think a lot of people have really gotten into the fact that it glorifies materialism, and it pisses people off that that's the case. And I think it's really hip to hate on the movie at this point. The way I look at it is like, is it Scorsese? Yes. Is it his style? His type of movie? Of course. Leonardo DiCaprio is a great actor. Is it entertaining? You just said it. So how can you go wrong with that? I maybe I'm not looking at it from a literary standpoint or anything like that, but I'm sure I'm going to love it. I can't see a scenario in which I don't. Of course, I'm
No,
probably
it's
setting
like
myself up for
I
failure
get
here.
loving the movie. It's just like for me, it was like after I saw it, I was like, I just want Jordan Belfort to get hit by a bus or something. Like, I
Yeah.
just hate this character so much, and I'm
Isn't
not
that
think
part
you're
of what
supposed
the
to,
movie
though.
does?
I don't know, but like it's like the movie story does, but the movie's existence makes Jordan Belfort like seem fine. Like it's like, yeah, slap him on the back. Martin Scorsese made a movie about him, selling more copies of his book than ever. Sweet. And it's just like, I don't want that to happen. Like I
Right.
want his life to get worse because
I get
I just
that.
saw
I get that.
him and I hate that guy. So again, it's a character. It's a characterization of that guy. Maybe him in 2014 is like way different than he was in
Probably not.
1988 or whatever, but
Probably not.
I don't know. Like that movie character just pissed me off, and I don't know. It was
Fair.
something to see. So
Fair.
yeah, there you go. Ugh.
There you go.
What we got next?
First impressions from Nathan, because he hasn't said it anywhere else.
Nope. Yeah, especially not on some random episode of Silent Hill. Like I don't. That's the real first impression. It's really weird, but know that
Okay.
chronologically.
Next, are we ready? Next question. Here we
Yes.
go.
Hey Paul, hey Nathan, you magnificent son of a bitch. Let's play a game. Fuck, marry, or kill. The lucky contestants are Nicolas Cage, our Lord and Savior Gaben, and your fellow host of Pixel Response. Down with the furry. All hail Marshmallow. I love you, Krasner. Ciao.
Whoa. Oh man. Honestly, like Gaben gets the axe because I don't know. Like Steam's great, but it would probably be fine without him, right?
Gaben?
So
Oh, no,
yeah.
dude. It's totally fine without him. He gets killed.
Yeah.
Like, he gets
Um,
killed easily because maybe he created something great, but he has people working on it 24/7. He's not the one that, like, when your Spelunky code doesn't work, he's not the one being like, oh, I'm going to fix this for you. It's his minions,
Minions,
his army
right?
of minions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Plus,
I don't
Half-Life
that
quite
guy
get
can-
the dude seems great. I don't quite get the internet like thing about him or whatever. Like he's a
But we can agree
that
he can
guy.
die and things will still be fine.
Like I don't think he has a huge creative role in a lot of stuff. Like Portal 2 single-handedly coded. It's like no, that's not what happened. So yeah, that's that one. Now we're down to the last choice here. I guess fuck Nick Cage, marry Paul.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm down with that.
kind of hot.
I'm doing the exact same thing. We're going to turn the tables a little bit for Panic Knife because he
Oh,
does
God.
lineofdudes.com with Eno Mezzo. So
Yeah.
the same question, only you're with your co-thing there,
Okay.
with your co-person. So fuck, marry, kill, our Lord and Savior Gaben, apparently, Nick
Yes.
Cage, or Eno Mezzo.
I'd agree with you that Steam is its own entity at this point, and it's pretty much going to stay the same, Gaben or not. And plus, how many times has he had the chance to confirm Half-Life 3? He's
How
passed
many
on
times
it.
have he had the chance to, like, fuck all of us? Are we kidding? here?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
some-
So fuck Gaben. I mean, in terms of killing him.
sure.
Okay. That's confusing language in this scenario.
Yeah,
But okay.
True. I would say in the last two, I'm marriage material. I'd say I'm married Nick Cage. I mean, that guy's got a ton of money too, so I'd imagine I'd get some sort of thing out of it, even with a prenup. And as you actually know, you guys didn't hear because we didn't talk about it. He was Big Spoon on Friday night, so I guess I probably was fucked at some point. So there you go.
Okay,
There you go.
so you heard it here first on the Pixel Response podcast, lineofdudes.com, the two co-creators of Awful Gamer HD YouTube.
Could be banging.
Panic Knife has been fucked by Eno Mezzo, so he would marry Nick Cage.
Absolutely. Dude, he's
you
got
go.
so much money, right? I mean,
I would hope so. I mean, he's had some tough years.
Actually,
with
he's
his
had
astral
some tough
addiction.
years. I think
Gone
he's
through the
been doing
big years.
movies now for money to get back into the black.
Well,
So
'cause, I mean, he was buying up castles and trilobites like nobody's business for like 5-10 years.
perhaps
So-
I made a great mistake then.
Hey, you get to probably live in a castle, like maybe.
That's true.
Literally.
Good point. Good
So,
point.
I don't know.
I
Good
wouldn't mind
choice.
living in a castle. I could be a princess.
hmm
Okay, next voicemail.
That note.
Time for this week's Cage Fight Club. Pretty excited. How about you? Excellent.
Mhm.
And this week we're going to do Nick Cage versus Richard Karn. Fight.
Nick Cage versus Richard Karn, also known as Al Borland from
Ooh.
Tool Time and Home Improvement. Who
Oh,
would you go
weird.
for?
What a
Okay,
weird
so-
pull. Okay.
Hold on.
So
Hold
this-
on. You're missing his biggest role, which is the
Okay.
the host of Family Feud.
You're right. That actually is probably his biggest thing. I would say Nicolas Cage still wins, and I'll tell you why. Because Al Borland has barely had a career, and Nicolas Cage can just pay someone else to punch Al Borland in the fucking face. Because he has money. He spends money on trilobites and castles. You don't think he could pay like Mike Tyson maybe like $100 since Mike Tyson is no longer a thing to just
Wait,
get
you're saying
like,
he'd
punch
have to
someone in the
hire a
face?
ringer? Like, that's...
I think he
don't
would
know.
have to hire a ringer.
That's
Yeah.
disqualified.
But you know what? That still works because he has the money to go ahead, and Al Borland is just going to be like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do against Mike Tyson. And then he's going to get punched in the fucking face and fall down.
Well, he's also got 7 years on him. I'm just looking at their birthdays. Speaking of which, Nick Cage's birthday was this past week, so...
Happy birthday,
There you
Nick
go.
Cage. I'm sorry we missed your birthday. Pour one out for Nick Cage. It is the best time of the year.
I'm assuming that's why there's like this sudden influx in Nick Cage questions, because today has been weird.
No. The reason why is because, like, maybe because of like the Nostalgia Critic month of Cage. Maybe that's because of that, his
Mhm.
birthday happening or whatever. But the
50
reason why
years.
this happened is because Spaghetti Cast, which you can only hear on pixel-response.com, by the way, did an episode where they were saying something about Al Borland or whatever, and that's the name of the episode. So go to pixel-response.com if you want to hear that episode. It's great. Spaghetti Cast, check those guys out. There you go. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, that's what
ahead.
I thought.
Go ahead, nobody.
About what? What are you talking about?
No, that's what I thought. We're done.
No,
Al
no,
Borland's
straight.
dead. Al Borland
I
is dead on the
figure-
ground because Nick Cage paid money for what's his name, the Dynamo
Tyson?
Kid or whatever, Dynamite Kid, to punch him in the fucking face
I think
until
you're
he died.
insane. I think you're insane. First of all, you're discounting the fact that that Richard Karn has a beard. So
He does have a beard.
Oh,
It
That- you know
cushions
what?
the
You're
blow.
right.
It cushions
Like all the
blow.
time, whereas Nick Cage only occasionally has a beard. When
Exactly.
he does, it's great.
sure.
Secondarily, if you're taking in roles into account, his role on Tool Time, he was extremely crafty. I can imagine he would set traps for Nicolas Cage.
Sure.
In some sort of a video game fashion where Nicolas Cage would trip over shit and be exhausted by the time Richard Karn would just punch him in the face. I think Richard Karn wins.
Nathan?
I'm gonna vote with Cage though, but as we said when this segment
Yeah.
started, that is always going to happen.
Well,
so
yeah. I just had to take a contrarian view there.
unless
Sure.
it's like I don't even know who you'd pit. Like it's just like, hey, Jet Li or something, and it's like, you know what? Fine, in his prime,
Okay,
maybe.
so let's take a quick tally
Probably.
here. I'm putting my hand up for Cage. I think Nathan
Okay.
is too.
yeah,
Karn.
And Panic
I'm
Knife, you're
voted
saying
out, but
Karn?
That's okay. Yeah, I'm going Karn.
I don't think so, Mark. Anyways,
Okay,
next
it's
question.
okay.
Hey guys, it's Foxy. I just have a few questions. What are some of your favorite bands / artists of the recent year? Have you seen the Showtime program Shameless, and how do you feel about it? Panic, how do you feel about being on 4 Idiots, and how you played during Payday 2? And if you know whether is going to post more Condemned 2 or Castle Crashers.
Okay, so let's start off with the first question. What are your favorite artists? I'm guessing he means music artists because Foxy and I have had some...
He's a
Foxy,
big Van Gogh guy,
Foxy is one of the only people that when I'm playing a game and listening to my own music, he actually knows what 80% to 90%, if not 100% at the day, during the day or whatever, who the artists are. So him and I chat about music quite a bit. What are some of your guys' favorite music artists?
Did you say specifically of the past year or just...
No, just in general, I think.
Okay.
It's just easier to go in general, I think. So let's just...
Well, so Midnight Brown.
Of course, and Suburban All-Stars by that account.
Kind of tangentially, yeah. Daft Punk are pretty great. I don't know if you guys heard about them. They're this kind of obscure duo from France. They were...
No, go ahead and explain them in depth and everything they've ever done. In fact, go ahead and hum a tune from them.
Okay, it's... Anyway, Justice, I like those guys still, even though that's... I mean, their second proper studio album wasn't all that great, but the live version of that same material was pretty awesome, so they kind of pulled out another great thing there, so that was pretty cool. Access All Arenas, that was pretty sweet. I like electronic music of that variety. That kind of French twinged stuff is pretty awesome. Trying to think who else really has been lately. I've been like kind of just coasting on those like a lot lately. I've not been investigating new music for quite some time. I've been thinking about maybe getting back into like game soundtrack stuff. Like just I'm gonna put Fez on my iPod. Just put that on there. Just
sure.
That. See how that handles on the streets. And maybe like, GTA 5 or Max Payne 3 or something. Like Health did the soundtrack. That's weird. That's just weird. So,
what about you, Panic?
I've got the most bizarre and varied taste in music of all time. I'd say my favorite band is Tool. I'm a huge fan of Tool. Love pretty much all of James Keenan's. To be honest with you, I appreciate all the eras. Like everybody's all like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm really into Anima and things like that."
For sure,
I totally get that, or like Undertow. Yeah. Like I get that. That's cool, and I enjoy that. But if people really hate on like 10,000 Days, and they say that he's sold it. It's more commercial, and to an extent, yeah. But you listen to the album as a whole, and it's really good. Like he gets really deep in the subject matter and things like that. So I can really appreciate that. So I like all of Maynard's bands. I like Pussifer. I like Perfect Circle. But and I get made fun of a lot for this type of stuff. But I'm also really into like Lady Gaga. I fucking love Lady Gaga.
Is great.
So great. So I mean, I have the most bizarre taste in music. Like I have a lot of Lady Gaga on my iPod. Who uses an iPod, by the way? But I'll just say my iPod.
Sure.
When I had my MMA fight, I came out to Rise Against. I'm a big fan of Rise Against.
Okay.
I have a lot of like old school rap. Like I like a lot of late '90s rap. So like Talib Kweli, Black Star. Mos Def, stuff like that. I also like old school West Coast rap and things like that, like Dr. Dre, like
you gotta get the Tupac in there.
Yeah, of course Tupac, Snoop, guys like that. Just a bizarre, weird mix of music. It's stupid. You'll listen to my phone on random, and you'll be like, "What the fuck kind of mix is this?" And I'm just like, it just makes sense to me.
All respect to those who break their neck to keep their hoes in check, because they sweat a brother majorly, and I don't know why you girl keeps paging me. Anyways,
yes.
I top 3 in no specific order: Nine Inch Nails, Muse, and Queens of the Stone Age, probably.
Respect.
So, other than that, Metallica is definitely somewhere up there. I don't know where. Probably top 10, not top 5. I don't know. It depends on the day. sometimes I like a lot of like Tegan and Sarah. Sometimes, like you said, Lady Gaga. Tool's probably somewhere in there. It really depends. Beatles are definitely in there somewhere in top 5 or 10.
What about Lorde?
I actually like Lorde a lot.
I know.
I don't know why.
You got some shit, Nathan.
I know I did.
Our video saying like, actually, Lorde is pretty great, and you're
She's
just
a pretty
good.
talented artist, so it's just like, okay.
She's actually pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I know that sounds like bullshit because she's just a really extremely absurdly popular right now. But listening to, because I bought her album for my wife for Christmas, and my wife just plays the whole album, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, this is not bad. It's
Maybe the
really
whole
pretty good.
album, like just hearing the same single getting drummed in my head, and it's not even her, it's the choir. Like it's the other singers. It's just like, I hate how this is mixed right now. This is just
I totally get that, and I totally get the hate on that, but it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. I can't hate on it.
Eminem's up
I don't
there.
know how I didn't mention that, by the way. I love Eminem.
Adele is probably somewhere up there.
the James Bond song, right? So good.
Yeah, that specific one is what said it. No, I mean, yeah, it's great, but
that's
my
really the
favorite
song. That's as far as I know.
I gotta
That's
say,
what happened.
there was one night there where I was up till like 6 a.m, and I was seriously just sitting here for 4 hours listening to music as high as I could in my stereo headphones and just like jamming out, sort of thing. And there's one mix that she did in like not a studio, but like a radio station by Adele, yeah, of Rolling in the Deep, and it's the best mix I've ever heard of that song, and it is really good. If you could look it up, it's Rolling in the Deep. It's like live, quote unquote, somewhere like at a radio station. The only thing that's not live is she doesn't have the backup singers doing the like tears are gonna fall part at all. That's like a recording, so that's kind of garbage. But everything else is great. The bass drum just fucking kicks in and just like stops your heart automatically. The keyboards come in and the guitar and everything is just so great. And then like you just know that it's all natural because she's standing there singing in the studio, and you're just like, this is really fucking good. Like this is really good. So that alone has put me over the top with her specifically. If you talk about like Whitney Houston and like divas of past, she is this generation's diva, and I think she's probably getting the respect she deserves. But if not, I think she deserves another look at, maybe for more than just the Skyfall soundtrack. It would be great if she did Skyrim. She's just like, oh, da, or something. But anyways, wow. I think she's great. She is one of the tops. She is not a person I can listen to a lot of times, though. So she's probably not in the top 10 for that reason. Like when we're talking top 10, I'm talking like Metallica's in there somewhere. I can throw them on at any time and just be like, yeah, Saint Anger, the worst album they've done. I could listen to this. That's why they're top 10 for me.
Right. That makes sense.
So anyways, shall we move on to the final question voicemail? Yes, we shall.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Foxy. I just have a few questions. What are some of your favorite bands?
Nope, that's the same one.
Oh, sweet.
Here,
so that's
hold
the
on.
end of the questions then.
No, that's not the end, because he asked some more stuff. I'm just trying to remember what the second question was. It was something about, do you know about something? And no, I don't, because I would remember.
Oh yeah, we got caught up in
said.
the bands thing. And then it was
Should we quickly listen to it again just so we remember? Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, probably should.
Hey guys, it's Foxy. I just have a few questions. What are some of your
Shameless,
bands
wasn't it?
/ artists of the recent year? Have you seen the Showtime program Shameless, and how do you feel about it?
Showtime program Shameless, and no idea.
I haven't watched it, but I have to say I did watch the trailer for it, and it looked pretty good. I haven't seen it yet though, so I can't really comment.
It's like William H. Macy, yeah?
Yeah.
I like that dude, so sure. But executive
He was
producer
the
by John
digger
Wells.
in Mystery Men, so he is pretty great.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. That is his most famous role.
I dig good.
Yeah. So potentially cool. I didn't know we shared a time slot. Is that what they're saying? Is that what? Was it on tonight or something?
I don't know, but if it was on tonight, you made the right choice by listening to the pixel-response.com, the podcast for all your shameless needs. Shameless doesn't even come close to what we're doing tonight, people. We have no shame here. They say shameless. We are without shame. So we are already above them. The last question was specifically for Panic Knife, and it was about idiots. How do you feel about being on the Idiots, and how do you feel you played? And I think the other one was, is Eno going to release more of what's that series you guys did together?
The Castle Crashers and the Condemned. So, okay, so first of all, I'll go with Idiots first. I'm going to talk for like 5 minutes here, which is going to make me feel all self-conscious. But with the Idiots thing, it was actually really cool to get involved. I have been trying to, and Paul and I talked about this before you guys came in. I tried to kind of ease my way into it because I don't want to get involved and make it all about myself when it's a series that's already got a ton of fans. You guys you got your own thing going on. I'm not going to be like, hey guys, it's Panic Knife. I'm going to make this all about myself and come in here.
It's your boy Panic.
Shtick. It's your boy Panic. Yeah, no, that's not what I'm all about. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to be able to be a part of that, it's actually a remarkably successful series given it's on my dumb channel. So it was really cool to get in there and play with you guys. And I have to say, just speaking for myself, we had a ton of fun last night playing that game.
Yep.
Payday 2. And in terms of how I played, I actually, to be honest with you, I do a lot of shtick about how bad I am at games. I'm actually pretty good at FPSs on the PC, and I am also really vain in that I check stats and I think we played like 15 games or something like that. Like 10 of them I had most accuracy or something like that. I was nailing the accuracy on these things, so I played pretty well. I was taking it probably more seriously than I would have liked, considering it's a comedy series. But yeah, I played pretty well. It was fun. I didn't hurt the team anyway, so that was good. In terms of Condemned and in terms of Castle Crashers had some issues with the technical side of things. I think that the audio ended up getting really badly screwed up, so I think that's probably done. The rest of the videos were kind of like you couldn't really hear what was going on, so he just canned them. We got to the point where people just criticized the shit out of audio quality, which led us to go and buy new equipment, which our equipment now is great. We have a mixing board and really high quality condenser mics and stuff like that we used to record when we're in the same room. This series wasn't, but those series are. So the Castle Crashers is probably done. In terms of Condemned, it got decent response. We might end up going to do it again. I think if not Condemned, we might go and do other scare type games like Outlast. I think is one that we had looked at.
Okay.
Much to my
that looks
chagrin.
actually fun.
It looks great. Is the one he keeps making me play it solo, which is like I'm like, I try not to overreact because I kind of hate it when people overreact on YouTube. They do the oh my god, I'm so scared. And
you don't want to PewDiePie it.
It's lame. No, without going out and saying PewDiePie, I don't want to actually PewDiePie it, but whatever, it's fine.
To be fair, though, that gained him like 20 million followers, and that dude's making like at least $500,000 a month.
Higher than that. Oh, a month. Yeah, a month. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, he's making about that.
Probably.
Yeah. It feels like prostitution. I go out there, and if I'm just like, if I actually don't have that reaction, like we're playing Condemned, and Eno he wasn't overacting. He was actually he was getting kind of scared by the thing. He doesn't like scary games. But
sure.
when we were playing Condemned, and I was like, I got a little bit shake scared, but I didn't really get shake scared. So I was sitting there. I was like, it's cool. Oh, hey, cool, nice, whatever. But I didn't go crazy and overact it. And I don't know. I feel like that actually takes away from the video a little bit. So, but that being said, I think the concept was good. The setup we had is really good for what that kind of game was. So we might end up going back and doing it again. But like I said, we had really taken a lot of effort out of our YouTube side of things. We just decided that it's not worth for X amount of views, X amount of or Y amount of dollars. It wasn't worth the overall time commitment that we had for it. So we scaled it back a lot. We're still doing once a week where we're doing recording podcasts and stuff like that. So days that we want to go back and actually do videos and stuff like that too, we might go back into the scare games, maybe even Condemned. I'm not really sure, but I would definitely keep an eye out for that. Most of the stuff we're going to be doing releasing for the next couple of weeks is going to be the Idiot stuff. But we'll probably get back to doing Condemned and things like that.
Very cool. I mean, I'm going to sound like the jerk here. I haven't watched the Condemned things.
There's only like
I've
2 videos.
Oh, okay. I've played the game, so I understand some of the more scary parts and stuff. I just haven't watched the videos, I guess. So
that's cool.
I don't know. I apologize. I don't know what to say.
Paul, I've seen the stats on the video. Not many people have seen it. So you have to. I feel like in YouTube, you guys are familiar with this clearly because you guys started doing your own thing. But you have to be playing a brand new game. You have to really nail the SEO, or you have to get linked by a big channel to hit it big.
Or you have to be really, really good. Like you have to be like world record speedrunner type of guy.
Right. So we had one thing that we ended up never posting, which we wanted like speedrun type thing that we thought would probably hit us to a pretty high level on YouTube, but we never got it to the level that we wanted to get hit. It was like something on Modern Warfare 3. We nailed it. Sure. Like we were at number 8 in the world or something like that. But we were like, you know, we're going to get to number 1. And we never did. Probably the biggest YouTube regrets of all time, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this is going to sound really biased, and it is. So fuck y'all. But anyways, I really like when the way we met was Twitter, essentially. Right. Because I was randomly following people. And then I saw this like Awful Gamer thing say, we're live on Blog Talk Radio. Then I was like, I'm bored, whatever. I clicked on the link and then I called in. And then from there, it was just kind of like, hey, you guys are kind of cool. We should do a video series. I kind of know this guy sort of thing. Right. Maybe he'd be interested. And then like it all kind of snowballed from there. But anyways, I really enjoy this idea that's like our whole channel thing is that we're just having fun, because at the time, there was nothing but like, oh man, I am the best Modern Warfare player ever. And then I was just like, these dudes released a video where they're like, how to fly a helicopter or plane or something.
The favorite thing ever.
In Battlefield. And they're not, first of all, it's not the right game. It's not Battlefield 3. It's Battlefield 2 or whatever. And second of all, they're still not good. So these guys are worth talking to. So
oh my god, that was my favorite video that we ever did. Like, I still wish I could aspire to do something like that. And that video for small time YouTubers, getting a video with 20,000 views is the dream. That would actually hit that. So sure. It was so stupid. It was when Battlefield 3 was about to come out. We said we're going to do a video of how to fly the choppers in Battlefield 3. Meanwhile, all we did was we went into Battlefield Bad Company 2 and released footage of us lifting the chopper off, slamming into mountains while, in the backseat saying Ride of the Valkyries. It was just doing that over and over again. It was probably the most fun I've ever had playing video games, and people it was great. Half the people didn't get it, and half the people laughed. It was fun.
It was great, and I really liked that philosophy because at that time I hadn't been watching a lot of LPs, and so I felt YouTube was a place where people played video games too seriously, and it was nice to see like, oh, these are just dudes that like I could play a game with, and we would have fun, and everyone would hate us, and that's great. So that is basically what made me love the channel, and it saddens me a little bit that you guys aren't doing like a whole lot of stuff anymore. But I mean, coming from my point of view where it's like, well, I have to get this video ready and this podcast ready for these days of the week, and I also have full-time work. I understand
exactly.
But at the same time, I do wish you guys would put out more. I understand why you probably won't. And I don't know, lineofdudes.com. I've been enjoying the podcast anyway.
I appreciate that too. I would say it's not going to happen. I just say that given the work stuff, we had both kind of had a lot going on. I've been working a job that makes me do a lot of nights and things like that. And Eno has a job that makes him go in extremely early in the day. So it's like we used to have a thing where we'd both work the really early days. So our schedules matched up and we would both sit on our computers and be able to do all the SEO stuff from work, which made it super easy.
SEO stuff, man, though. Fuck. I hate that shit.
Such a pain in the ass. But at least if you're doing it during, this sounds bad, but if at least you're doing it during work hours, it's easy. Who cares? It's just, I was sitting at a desk doing SEO stuff. Who gives a shit? But now it's like, okay, well, I could do this, or I could, do X thing and actually get something done at work. And it's just like, no, I can't really justify that. So we would post videos and be like, okay, well, we're just gonna throw it up there and rest on our laurels. And of course, we wouldn't do any SEO, we wouldn't do any promotion for it. It would get freaking 50 views. We're just like, screw it. What's the point? Which is the wrong way to look at it. But it's hard not to think about that sometimes.
For sure. I don't know. Like, I guess that was a new segment called Behind the Curtain with Panic Knife and Exposure, where we talk about stuff nobody cares about unless you're like a web admin for something that people
no doubt,
visit.
No doubt. Sorry.
But anyways, thank you everybody for following both of us and like doing the Twitch thing or like watching stuff we do and all that stupid shit and sending in voicemails and whatnot. If you are listening to this and you were like, hey, I want to get on this gravy train too. This podcast gravy train that we're running, you're allowed on. You might be on the caboose, but you know what? You can join too. And I'm going to tell you right now how you can do that.
Got a question or comment for the show? You can email us at podcast@pixelresponse.com or leave a voicemail using the voicemail feature on the right side of the main page. On Twitter, you can reach Nathan at Krasnor and Paul at Exposure. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thepixelresponse and visit pixelresponse.com for more.
It is that simple. Also, if you really are just like, you know what? I'm a super fan. I am going to buy something from Amazon. There is a link you can go to. It's pixel-response.com/support. You can go ahead and click one of those Amazon links, and anything you buy, we're going to get a little cutback from. And that's a good thing. But not only are you giving us a little bit of money and you're not paying extra, you are physically taking that money you're spending out of Amazon's hands and saying, fuck you. This is going to these guys because they put out a thing I like. So please, it's a time for giving now that Christmas is over. It's time you start spending some money. Let's just put it that way. That's the only thing that is keeping us running right now. Me and my me and my shitty little job that I'm doing will keep the main amount of money going. Like, we'll keep things running.
The lights on.
We'll keep the lights on, but maybe you want to give us a little heat. Maybe you want to make sure that we don't freeze to death in our Canadian winters up here.
Yeah, it's like Papers, Please considerations, right? You need to kind of cut off the food one night. And
exactly. Like,
the other night.
Like, why are you cutting off our heat? We are in Canada. We are frozen right now. But if you're wanting to buy that new PlayStation 4, why don't you do it through Amazon and do it through our link? We'll get a little cutback, but you know what? That's enough to keep our domain going for a bit. We have a new domain now, GameDudes.net, which is doing nothing right now, but you can help pay to make that dream a reality. Game Dudes on YouTube is a thing we've been doing. It's still going on. We took a hiatus today, like, I guess yesterday, technically, for a lot of people that are listening live, and even for people that probably downloaded it. We took a hiatus because idiots are back, and we thought it might be fine to just leave a day to let people watch that, but we will be back tomorrow or when you're hearing this. That's youtube.com/thosegamedudes, and we are playing through Silent Hill. Well, we played through Silent Hill.
Nice.
Nathan played through Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the series is done, and
some
Nathan
weird
gets
stuff happens.
Nathan gets a little angry later on. There's some bullshit that happens. So there is one person that commented on a video that's like, "No, you idiots, go back in the hospital. You need something with that bottle." And I was just like, "Oh, you're gonna love the next few episodes." So that's a thing you can do on YouTube. We don't get any money out of that, but that's just for your enjoyment. As always, you can do the voicemail things and blah, blah, blah. Do all of that stuff because we love it. You can follow us on Twitter. We try to talk to you. I don't think Nathan does because he hates you, but I
hate Twitter. Yeah. I hate it so much.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
But
it makes me sound like a jerk.
Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on, and it's always a great time
you guys
to talk to you.
or having me on. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Where can people see what it is you do on the internet?
You can go to lineofdudes.com, which is the website where our podcast is hosted. You can follow me on Twitter at PanicKnife, PAN1
the number 1 CKNIFE, because I couldn't make it complicated enough. You can follow me on Twitter there. You can visit youtube.com/theawfulgamerhd, and that's our main site there. Subscribe to us, share it, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Follow at Eno Mezzo as well, because he's much more interesting than I am. That's
okay, fair. I think that's probably fair enough. Also, Tale of Idiots is back, and Panic Knife is now a part of the Idiots. So your cries have been heard, people.
Yeah, right.
He is now part of the Idiots. And as for Nathan and I, we will see you next week.
Yeah, I don't have anything weird to observe, so I'm so sorry.